Here we go.
All right. On this episode of Hail Trump, we have a new... Hail Trump! People say that. You know that, right?
I'm sure they do.
There's a video that...
Before the Elon thing or after?
Way when he was first presidency.
Oh, God.
There was like a video...
First?
Yeah, there was like a video where people like having this thing, and they were like, Hail Trump!
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
Hail Trump.
Inconsistent.
Welcome to GD Squared. We have a special guest, Kate, in the studio, hanging out with us, talking crap about politics and everything else in this world.
The last time you were on, it was the basement?
No,
No, it was GD
it was
Squared.
GD Squared, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what? I didn't know there's...
There was.
We have an old podcast we should do.
But it turned out to be a gay nightclub in Queens, so we had to.
We
change
had to
the
change the name.
Got you.
We should have just stayed because we're both gay. We could have said that was our club. Oh my gosh, we're
Yeah,
idiots.
meet us there. We should have went every night.
Recruit the people.
Did you hear that? Did
Would've
you hear the
been
crunching
great.
sounds or no? I'm good?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
They don't notice it though. You
Yeah.
should be. You should be good. What was?
But you know what I think it is? I think, just tell me if you guys think. I think people view Republicans as the quote unquote majority of America,
Minority?
right? Majority. So like white, Christian, those are the majorities of America. When Democrats a lot of people view them as the minorities. So they have a different view on what Republicans are and what Democrats are just off the bat. Just looking at them, they're like, okay, these guys are the white Christian men. So when they make fun of people, it's bad. You're not allowed to make fun of people when you're not supposed to punch down. You're only allowed to punch up. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard those terms?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's why when Democrats do it, it's like, haha, funny. But when Republicans do it, they're like, you're not supposed to do that. That's not good.
But who's doing that judgment? You mean Democrats to
I think
Republicans?
the everyday...
Oh, sorry, too far.
I think the everyday person, you know,
You think the everyday person what?
views...
Sees the Republicans making fun of it. It's like distasteful.
Like it's cringy. Yeah, it's like cringy, distasteful. Yeah.
But hence what I was trying to say. I think that might be changing now just because of the social media, political landscape. I just feel like the right has a lot more... They've gotten a lot more attention as when you have people like Ben Shapiro and these other
So you're not thinking of
personalities.
What's changing?
That I mean maybe that what he was talking about before, that whole mindset of just like it's cringy to see right wingers hitting below the belt. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's just
But also I think
like that,
I think also the demographics of each party is kind of shifting as well. More white males are voting Democrats and more people of color are voting Republican. We're starting to see a little bit of a shift nowadays, especially with the last election. You see it happening a lot.
Is there numbers to back that really?
I think
white
more.
males?
I think more black men voted Republican this election than ever before in history.
True, but I still think percentage is still low, but definitely still the most.
Yeah,
definitely still.
And I think
agree.
also with
I
Latino
get that.
men.
Yeah,
I think it's the most ever in history.
I'm not surprised about that.
So
either,
that
though.
voted Republican was this time around.
Because they're tired of the shit.
Or I'm on you. Oh wait, I'm not. You're kicking me out too. Damn.
Yeah,
We've seen a couple of those instances.
yeah.
But
I mean, how do they vote?
Who?
I'm just saying, if they got kicked out, how do they even vote?
Well, I don't. I'm just.
I'm just saying. I guess maybe they support him and just didn't vote.
Wait. Who vote? The people that got kicked out?
Yeah, the people that supported Trump, but then ICE came and was like, "Yo, you gotta go. You're not American."
Maybe
But if you're not
they
American,
probably didn't vote, but they supported. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Vocal supporters.
Yeah.
I remember there was that. There was a couple months ago. There was a guy who was a big time vocal Trump supporter. I don't think he got deported, but he got like his neighbor was also a Trump supporter. They got into a fight and
he was like, "I'm gonna
he
snitch on
called
this
the
guy."
cops on him
Yeah.
because his kids went over and played on his yard. And
That's crazy. I don't like that. Like, come on, let the guy live. I'm never gonna snitch on a person that's illegal. I feel like that's crazy.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of that. I mean,
Right?
it's crazy. My wife, she works for the Board of Ed, right? And she's saying like what's happening with the kids and the families and some of the schools, because the school that she works in, there's a big minority presence there. And especially from like Middle Eastern countries and Spanish countries, you know.
Oh, well, they gotta go. Middle Eastern countries are crazy.
Bro, but I mean, wow.
There's a guy that works in a school in Sunset in our church, and he was saying a lot of these kids, their parents are illegal, but they're not. So they're like worried for their parents, and it's like if my parents get deported, what happens to me? If there's no legal family members, I gotta go into the system.
Oh, Trump had an answer for that.
What was it?
To deport you too.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't Trump. That was the border czar or whatever. The new border czar.
But you know Trump would okay that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get them out. Why separate the family? They can go.
They could go together.
Yeah, why not? That's actually, whatever. I'm just saying that's probably a good idea.
To get rid of the kids too.
I'm just saying if you're a kid,
going into the system and getting lost in the system. And
I'm just saying if you have an American education and you go to another country,
oh, you're set.
You're set.
You're definitely just because you speak English, you're gonna get the job.
Yeah, right off the back. And if you have an education on top of it, you're doing light years ahead of everybody else.
That's a positive spin.
Yeah, there's like it's like if I'm from New York, people look at me like, "Oh, you're from New York, cool." Like anywhere you go in this world. So I feel like if you go to like Mexico and be like, "Yeah, I'm an American," or I was born an American, right away they're like, "Oh, we gotta give this guy the job."
But see, here's the thing. This is my gripe with with the Democrats, right? It's like
this guy loves Democrats.
I am not emotional when someone who came here illegal gets kicked out. I'm not emotional about it. Like, it doesn't do anything for me if the person gets kicked out. Whereas if they stay, I feel like they're skipping me.
Do you think
I feel like they're taking a piece of my cookies. This is my cookies. These desserts, these things were for us, and then somebody's just kind of come in here uninvited and eat my shit.
I would think it's situational and context matters. Depends on the situation.
I do feel bad when people get deported.
There's some, I mean, yeah.
Unless they
deserve it.
Yeah, if they're like gang members, something like, all right,
yeah,
get them out.
Get out. Yeah.
I don't want the American gang members here. I want them to leave too.
Yeah,
get out of them all.
Take them with you.
In fact, leave these guys. They haven't committed any crimes. Take them.
But the hard worker who comes here and is trying to do things the right way. And
so we used to work at a restaurant. We had people that were illegal that used to work in the kitchen.
Anunfo, where you at, Anunfo?
That's what I'm saying. I would feel bad if Anunfo got deported. I'd be mad even.
Would you?
I like Anunfo.
That's your man's. Arnulfo is your man's. Would you be mad if he got deported?
Later, nigga.
Hire a kid, an American. No, but I would feel bad if Anunfo got deported. I'd be like, damn, that's crazy that they got
because you built a relationship with him.
Yeah. But also, it's not just relationship. I know that he hasn't done anything bad while he was here.
But he came in here.
No, I get it. And that's why he's getting deported. I totally get that. Mm-hmm. But I would still feel bad. I mean, I think you committed a crime, you pay the time, right? Mm-hmm. Still, but I still will feel bad.
For me, it depends on the situation.
But I think that's why Trump should have been like, all right, look, if you get arrested, and we kind of talked about this one time. Like, if I had to do it, I would be like, all right, if you stay clean for 10 years, no arrest, no problems, I'll give you your papers.
I just think it's half-assed.
That makes too much sense.
But if you get arrested, you'll be in jail. We'll take you right from there.
Yeah, but I think it's it's a half-assed statement that you're making, or that argument is a half-assed statement.
Why?
It's like a hypocritical half-ass. If you're gonna do something, go all the way. This is what I'm hearing, right? I'm hearing, if you committed a crime, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Bitch, you committed a crime just by coming here.
Yeah, but the reason reason why I'm saying is,
see the butt part.
No.
To me,
the butt is the money.
It's the
I have to pay people to go get you. Versus, you're coming to the people. You're committing the crime.
But also coming here is not necessarily a crime.
The argument.
Yeah, I mean we're moving the goalposts a little bit for the sake of trying to fight with that perspective. Like, there's not really a crime to come into the country. The way Republicans and conservatives try to paint it as it's a crime to come into the country, that part is not true. So like,
it is a crime. We looked it up. It's a federal offense.
It's a federal offense.
We could look that up then.
Look it up.
What you're
saying?
Is
it illegal to cross the border? What you're saying? Is it illegal to cross the border?
You gotta go out of videos.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get the cross the border. United States, it's important countries, dangerous, illegal. Most immigrants face. No, I want to see. There's a statute. No, we looked it up before.
while he looks it up, the loophole that I feel Democrats, maybe you're saying this, maybe you're not, but the loophole that the Democrats are arguing is that you can't say that they're all illegal because all they have to say is, what is it?
Asylum
seekers.
You step on the thing, you step on the border.
But the thing
asylum.
is, they give you an opportunity to prove that. So you might not be able to prove
that wasn't
it
even what
today.
I was talking about, but I got you.
You may not be able to prove
That's
it
the loophole
today,
that I heard.
but we'll give you some time to prove it. And when you come to court, you have to prove it. Otherwise, you got to go. But people, they made the asylum too easy to claim asylum. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I'm poor. I need asylum.
Right. But when we looked it up, crossing the border without permission is illegal. There's no
That's why I looked something up.
it's black and white, and it's considered a misdemeanor.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're not gonna. They usually give you like a ticket or something
It's
like
a
that.
federal crime, punishable of at least a misdemeanor on your record. So again, the argument of the ones that the illegals that commit a crime have to go. They all committed a crime. Every single. That's why we call them illegals.
All right, this one kind of tells you, but it says the reason why it's because it's racist or whatever.
It's racist.
I don't know. You know how it is. Everything's racist.
Let's see the racism.
The law still fell today. Just shows up. Yeah. So these are the laws. Don't ask me to read this. Section 1325 is illegal entry. Section 1326, illegal entry. Chapter 8 of the U.S. Code. For decades, these laws have been used to advance racist, anti-immigrant goals. They give you the laws, but they're like, they kind of close
actually
it.
found the thing that I was.
Let's go.
I can't pull this.
Oh, it should be actually in Project 2025. Let's look
Type
that up.
in. Type in is illegal immigration isn't really illegal.
Illegal immigration isn't really illegal.
Yeah.
Immigration. Sorry, hold on.
Illegal immigration isn't really.
Illegal immigration isn't really illegal.
Treated as illegal. Maybe that's.
An act of being president of the United States in violation of the immigration law is not standing alone a crime, while federal immigration law does not criminalize some action that may be related to undocumented president of the United States. Undocumented president is not alone a violation of the federal crime law. Is PRX?
Yeah,
Public Radio Exchange. I listen to PRX podcast because I'm a liberal.
I don't even know.
I listen to.
What is that on?
I listen to more lefty podcasts than I do right wing podcasts. For my fans out there, I listen to more left leaning podcasts because I find them more interesting. What do you think about how's Trump handling America so far?
Chaotic.
It is chaotic.
Very chaotic. I think anybody, whatever side you could, lean towards, should have to agree with that.
I think it is a little chaotic, but I also think sometimes you got to let the bull run loose in the China shop.
But I mean,
because there are some things that he does, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I totally get that, especially with
like
the Doge stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like Department of Education. I've been saying for years. I think what? How long have we been doing this podcast with the basement for?
2018.
So at least since 2018, I'm like, we got to get rid of the Department of Education. It's useless. It's
Really?
just bureaucracy. Yeah, it's dumb. They don't do anything.
You don't think they do anything?
They don't do anything of substance that we can't handle in our own states. It's just a bloated bureaucracy. They basically receive funding to pay themselves, and they do nothing with that money.
As with anything, I do believe that there's corruption, right?
I don't think it's.
Whatever.
I don't even if you take the corruption out of it, just the fact that it exists is just like, why are we even doing this?
Yeah, I would
give the money to the
disagree.
states. Let them give the kids the money.
When you think about all the things that do get funded by the Board of Ed,
sorry.
Whether it's kids with disabilities.
Yeah, but you could
kids
give that
with
to a different agency.
What do you mean? I mean,
Department of Health could easily. They used to do it.
But to get rid of it altogether?
The Department of Education used to be part of the Department of Health before they branched off. I forgot what president it was that made them. So just give it back to them. They can handle those cases. They do it when you graduate high school.
You don't think
or
none
college,
of this? You don't think none of this is for the reason of eventually trying to privatize everything, right? Like,
Well, even if they privatize, I think. We could look it up, but I believe kids that go to private schools do better than kids that don't. So I think that there's and this is why.
but that's all. I mean, money, right?
I
Like,
think that
smaller classes. you know, more expensive schools.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's,
but I mean, the money that we allocate per student. Let's say we figured out the number per student per year, and then instead of giving it to the Department of Education, like, all right, now we're going to give this to the student. You do whatever you want with that money. Whatever school you want to go to, that's where you give it to. You're going to see millions of independent schools popping up saying, hey, our vouchers, you give us your voucher and we'll give you this year education. This is what we're going to offer. Boom, boom, boom. And then the school across the street is like, we'll offer more for that money, actually. And we have a track record of kids graduating and, and I think you're going to see competition within schools saying, oh, we'll do it better. We pay our teachers more.
I think you see that a lot with charter schools.
So
there's a lot of issues with that, with charter schools.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But those problems versus public schools is crazy different. We used to have metal detectors in our school. I went to J.
I went to Canarsie. We have metal detectors.
So think about, that's a public school. Now, private schools don't really have those problems.
But private schools have mass shootings.
I mean, every school has
not
mass
in New York, right? I mean, it's not really an issue. We really
New York, we do gang shootings. We don't do.
Hey, listen, bro. But again, we're not suffering from those type of problems. I didn't mind the metal detectors.
I think also, I mean, this is me. I think teachers' unions are also a problem. I think a union based on a job that's performance, you're gonna have problems. If it's union for the fact of just keeping a job, I get it. But if there's a performance aspect to it, now you're saying forget about the performance. You're getting paid anyway. It doesn't matter how you do. And I think that's the problem with teaching.
With the tenure and all that. Teachers that probably shouldn't really be teaching anymore.
Well, I don't know if you ever heard of this. When teachers, because of their tenure, sometimes they just have them in the break room all day. They don't actually have them in the classroom because they can't kick them out. They can't fire them. They kind of just stuck there. And they just sit in the break room all day, just wasting time. But they have to go to school. Things. Yeah. So what I think, I'm okay with unions for teachers, but because it's performance based, now you're getting a funny realm. It's like I just got to make it to these 10 years, and I can do whatever I want. I can slack off.
So what do you do with the union?
You have to. I mean, I'm me. I love you. Think unions are the greatest things.
Fired.
Yeah.
Right. Trump's hate.
What do you do with them?
Now, what
do? You let them sit in the homeroom until they age?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like there has to be a changing of somehow of the unions.
They become lunch ladies.
See, but to me, that's the same thing with Board of Ed. Like, yeah, there needs to be changes. There's things we can do. Like you had some good ideas, but to just completely dismantle it, and what do you have coming in to replace it? And that's part of the chaos that I'm seeing. It's just like, yeah, we're just taking money from these programs, and we're going to give it back to the country. But first of all, the programs that you're breaking and demolishing are hurting thousands and thousands, millions.
No, but they're not getting rid of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you watched the thing where he was explaining what he's going to do. They're not getting rid of anything. They're just allocating to different departments that we already have. So like when we're talking about special ed, they'll give it to the Department of Health. The reason why they're giving it to them is because when you graduate, if you're still, I don't know, whatever, like autistic or whatever, you're going to be under them anyway. So instead of them taking your case when you turn 18 and you graduate, now they have it from when you're a kid. Now you have the whole way through and you get to see them for the rest of his life instead of switching from one hand to another. So we don't need the school to take care of that. The local government's Department of Health can totally track this kid, no problem. And if he needs money, they're the ones that can write to the government, say, hey, give it to us. And they write to the Department of Finance or something like that, saying, hey, we need money for the student. So basically we're getting rid of the middleman.
But on the flip side, I feel like the counter to that would be easily, do you trust certain states? Like generally,
yeah.
Why, if you think about every state in America and how certain states do things now, if there's not a standard, who's going to lose out? Who's going to be...
Well, I think that's easy. You can establish a standard. Maybe even if you just shrunk the department to like a crazy small amount and just be like, hey, you guys just make sure everybody's on target. I'm fine with that too. I just think that there's so much that the Department of Education does that's just like you're two people doing the same job while we're paying two guys. And also now we got to pay for the building for rent. And also that building, we got to pay for janitors and garbage collection. Like there's a lot we're paying for this. Get rid of all that, allocate the most, and then just have one office saying, hey, these are the standards. And as a school, as a local, you go to the states and you go, these are your standards. If you go 5 years without meeting these standards, we come in and we shut that school down.
I just don't like the idea of this faraway entity, the federal government, running something that's so local.
But that's what I'm saying. Let the local government do it. But the department, make it so that way there's some kind of standard, like we're saying. Like, you can't just be like, give us money and we'll babysit your kids for the next 10 years. Whatever they learn, they learn. Like, there has to be a standard. And it has to be nationwide, I think. At a minimum, it's 65 when you pass.
So I Googled a breakdown of the current Department of Education spending.
Mm-hmm.
And discretionary spending, get rid of it. Mandatory spending, that's what I want to focus on. Student loans, keep it, dump it.
So hold on, let me. This got a little bit of a tangent.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's just go through these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
So we're
categories.
gonna just stay on mandatory for now.
Like, these are the mandatory spending.
This is what you have to have.
This is what you have to.
Is it
have.
by law?
This is.
I'm okay with that first one.
The U.S. Department of Education spending is categorized into discretionary and mandatory programs, which discretionary spendings covering areas like K-12 schools, early childhood education, higher education grants and loans, while mandatory spending includes things like student loans and some vocational grants. So let's go over the mandatory. Let's say that let's touch base on the discretionary. It's discretionary.
Yeah, start on discretionary.
Mandatory is that, okay? Should we keep student loans? Funds for federal loans programs?
No.
As long as things are the way they are.
No, I don't think so. I think we get rid of that too.
Gone.
You would get rid of student loans.
Gone.
Why?
Gone.
You're crazy.
Pay for your own school.
Pay for your own school. And not just pay for your own school. The fact that the government gives schools like college, let's say, like college loans, means the college is like, okay, we're going to take that money because we're going to take whatever the
You get money if you're left-handed.
Yeah. So we're going to take as much as we can from the government and we're going to charge you some. So to me, I'm like, get rid of all that, and either we're gonna
So all the college is gonna do is charge that poor person more.
Yeah, and if you can afford it, you do it. If you can't, you can't. Just like regular life, you can afford it, you can. If you can't, you can't. But what you should do is, again, like I said, you figure out how much of each student per year we spend, and say instead of from K to 12, is it right? Make it from K to whatever 16. Give them an opportunity to go to college, and just pay the college whatever that voucher is.
You're not with it, right?
Work his way through it.
No.
But then with that, you get rid of all the extra blows. Like a college would never charge you $100,000 a year anymore. That's over because nobody has it. So they have to lower their amounts.
What you're saying is
nobody
that
has it though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So either you close as a college, or you figure out a
you're
better way
saying
to
that
do
the
it.
college is gonna lower their prices because they're not getting money from the government.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
and if they can't afford it, they will have to shut down. And then you know what's gonna happen? The college next door is like, "We'll take you guys. We'll take your vouchers."
You're talking about DeVry.
Gone. Maybe actually, DeVry might survive.
DeVry,
Harvard.
Yeah,
Harvard's
but,
gonna
Toro
survive.
College will survive.
Well, also we've been feeding people for the past few years that college is the way to go, and over the past decade, we've seen it's not the way to go. There's people graduating with degrees that are useless.
What do you think will happen?
There's a lot for that.
It's
though.
Hold
It's
on.
unnecessary.
What do you think will happen if they get rid of student loans? If they just got rid of that part, what do you think will be the outcome of that?
I mean, I think the fact that a lot of students won't be able to afford school, won't be able to.
Well, I mean,
go
the
to
fact that they
college.
got to take a loan means they can't afford it, right? We're telling you, hey, we're going to give this to you, and you got to pay us back. I think get rid of it. Let them have it for free.
Oh, that's different.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's
Give them the
different.
voucher
Got
and say,
it.
this is how much we're paying for. If you want to pay extra, that's on you. But when you're not going to pay us back. We're going to give it to you, and you go to whatever. But it's only going to be like, I don't know how much. How much do they pay per student per year? Can you find that out?
I was going to say that was the problem. So I agree with that.
Aren't you in essence saying the same thing?
No.
Student loans?
No. Because student loan is predatory. Think about it. You're
Yeah, you have to
18
pay
years
it
old.
back.
You don't know what you're doing with your life. And now you're going to take out a student loan that's a 22% interest rate? That's crazy.
Okay, so now you're saying the government's lending you money that you have to pay back to the government.
That's what's happening today.
That's what's happening today.
What I'm saying is, why do that? Give them the voucher
Give them the money.
and say, I mean, obviously you're not going to give it to them. You have a piece of paper and you bring it to the school. And the school takes that and they receive whatever the amount is directly from the government. And that's it.
To pay for the teacher,
pay for the teacher,
light
yeah,
bill, the
exactly.
janitor.
Now, if you want to go to better school, that's on you. But we're giving you the welfare version of
so
it.
I mean, how were some basic college? How were some colleges free back in the day? You
Well,
had some 4 years that.
yeah.
What was the system that they were?
But that's what I'm saying. Like it should be like almost like a public, almost like the way charters are now. Just make it like that, and that's it. They're overcharging students because of the name of the college and the fact that the college has a limited amount of space. So it's supply and demand. They're like, oh, if you want to come to this college, we're almost full. You got to give us extra money if you really want to make it in here.
But I do get why it's a mandatory spending thing because it's like if we had a system like that in place, then obviously we wouldn't need to do this. But since we don't have that system in place, we're forced to have that option.
I don't think anybody should pay for school unless they want to.
I agree.
I think it should be from K to the 4-year degree.
I agree.
If you want to stay in school, we can give it to you. But I think we talked about this before. I don't remember when we talked about this. When I think that high schools should, at 10th grade, give every student an opportunity to like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to college or do you want a training? And if you want a training, we'll take you and put you to a different high school for 2 years, paid for by the government, that you can learn carpentry, computer, plumbing, whatever you want.
The part of America that was great.
Yeah. And now when now you're gonna graduate from high school, you're gonna have a trade under your belt, and you're gonna have no debt.
Okay,
Beautiful.
so going back to the thing, we got.
Let's do it.
I like that.
Doge, we're coming for you. Get rid of Doge.
He can't even spell Doge. Don't listen to him. So this idiot right here says, keep the student part, but change the word loans into take this money.
Turn it into a grant.
A grant. Okay.
That's it.
And this gentleman here is saying, don't get rid of it at all.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I kind of got confused with what he was saying at first, but I agree with what he's saying.
But would you keep this or go with his idea?
Oh, well, again, it's all dependent on, obviously, if we had a system in place, you would take that off. But we don't have that system. Realistically, we don't have that.
I don't like loans to people that just turn 18 and don't know what they're doing with their lives. So many kids have ruined their lives because of loans. Don't make them have a loan. Just give it to them. This is America. I mean, maybe we'll talk about it later. I'm a libertarian, but I disagree with libertarianism on a lot of aspects. And this is one, and another one is medical. Why do we have free medical for everybody? Again, this is America.
Why do we have?
Why don't we have it? Everybody should have a form of Medicaid.
Right.
Everybody across the board.
All right, here's my opinion before you start jumping.
Bro.
Now you're talking different topics. So stick to this, you freaking.
But that's why
you can't take it off. To me, I feel like.
But let me say this though. That's why I think Doge is important, because they can find all the fat and cut the fat off and just make, let's say, the medical industry more lean.
While taking some fat on the side.
But that's my point.
That's my problem with
make it very lean. Get rid of all the crap, all the bloat, and be like, all right, now the medical is cheaper for everybody.
Let's stick to this one here, right? So
great on paper, bro.
We have one person changing it from loans to grant. Another gentleman is with that idea, but says to keep it. Am I?
I'm just saying the reality of the situation is you can't. I mean, if you take that off now, then somebody who can't afford to go to the school, that might be an issue for them. So, I mean,
in other words,
if we had a different system in place, I would totally say yes.
I would think the loan part, you'd be like, yo, if you really want a loan to go to a better school, that's between you and your parents. You figure it out.
Okay.
You go to your bank or whatever.
All right, so that's a more realistic conversation
because you're going to be stuck in Sally Mae for the next 10, 20 years.
I say get rid of it altogether. Next, you can't afford it, go back to work. Go
back to your country.
Donald Trump.
Who's going to clean your toilets, Donald Trump?
I say get rid of it. The reason why I say get rid of it is because, again, it builds this mentality of entitled. You're entitled to shit, and you're not. Nowhere in this world.
I mean, they're paying it back. Right?
Nowhere in this world. That's why I say get rid of it. Forget the loan. Forget the grant. Your idea. Forget all that. Nowhere in the world is anything free. You work for it.
But build
towards it.
I'm okay with America saying,
you know what that
we're
does?
We're going to invest in the future.
That builds better society, because they're going to strive to be better. So they're going to strive to build generational
but you don't have
wealth.
If you don't have to go to college.
No, you don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what my idea of saying in 10th grade, you're going to go to high school. You have to go to high school.
You have to go.
Or get your GED, whatever. But if you're going to be in high school anyway, you might as well say, like I said, 10th grade, you got 2 years.
Get some sort of skill.
Keep going, go to college, become a doctor, a lawyer, or learn a vocation that will pay for it to train you.
All that was free.
And we'll let you loose in the world, and you guys, learn welding.
All that was free.
Was.
Not anymore.
Was.
They don't even do it, right?
No, not many schools. I don't think so.
All right.
Especially
what about
New York? And that's crazy.
There's a few, but that's not.
Vocational grants.
That's the what?
Funds for vocational.
That's
education.
to go to a different school in a different country or something.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Look it up.
Look it up.
Look it up, Jamie.
What is vocational education?
And,
for those people who already know the answer, they're like, oh.
And if this is, seriously, Red Hook, Brooklyn.
Red Hook, Brooklyn. As career and technical education can focus in equipping individuals with practical skills and knowledge.
This covers what I was saying.
Totally not what we were thinking.
And hands-on training
GED squared.
Vocational. Yeah. That makes sense.
That's
now.
GED squared. Yeah.
That's GED squared. We're keeping it consistent though, at
Yeah.
least. So vocational training. Keep
So,
it.
I mean, now that you say the word vocational training, that makes more sense now. I'm like,
It
oh
does,
yeah,
right?
of course. Now I know what you're talking about.
Now I
No,
know
but that's
he
what I was
means.
saying. In 10th grade, give them an opportunity,
So we keep that.
and then you'll see a bunch of schools pop up that just do that, and we'll take you to your grant. You know what I'm saying? We'll train your student.
Okay, so you say keep it.
I mean,
Yeah, I think I would
Keep
redo
it.
the whole system.
that's the thing.
But-
Yeah, that's it.
No. Stop with your dumb ideas. We're going with these ideas, the ones that they already have in play.
No,
Not with your dumb ideas.
I wouldn't work within the system. This is a bad system.
Okay.
So you would take that out?
I would redo the whole system.
No, you can't though.
You see?
So then, if that's the case, then I would let them keep that.
Okay.
So what about the first one?
So far, I'm with.
No, not loans. I can't. Loan is predatory for kids.
Okay, it is. It is
So-
predatory.
I don't want kids to ruin their lives.
So
get
take it away. Noel says take away the first one.
Yeah, I would. If the system as is, get rid of student loans. Let the bank handle it.
You only have two options: take it away or keep it.
Get rid of it. No loans.
Get rid of it.
Unfortunately, keep
Yeah.
it.
Keep it. Okay,
Unfortunately.
keep it. He says keep it.
Yeah.
The second one, Noel, keep it.
Yeah.
Noel's keeping it.
Definitely
Take it.
keeping that.
But you know what it is?
Keeping
Because
it.
a lot of people that are
Keeping the
that are
vocational.
from poorer neighborhoods are more likely to do vocations.
Okay.
And I'd rather us help them instead of getting a loan out to do it.
Okay.
Like, look, we're gonna get you out the mud.
I mean, it's a
kid.
How
grant.
emotional he
It's a
gets when he
grant,
talks. I say, get rid of it.
Why? What's your?
Gone. You want to learn? We gave you 10, 12 years of learning.
Uh-huh.
You should have fucking picked up a skill then, you idiots.
Yeah, but that's
and
like-
if you didn't, that means that guess what? Our system is fucked up.
Wait, that's
Yeah,
what we're
but
saying.
how are you? How are you
Which is
supposed
what
to?
we're saying.
But how are you supposed
How are
to?
you gonna
By-
learn plumbing in high school?
By,
Yeah, exactly.
by the 12th grade, you should learn how to plumb it. You should be
Oh God!
Plummeting.
you should be able to learn how to change your toilet, cook a meal.
I didn't learn any of that in high school.
Exactly.
I didn't go to high school.
That's my fucking point.
You went to high school.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Did and I didn't stay
He
long
did-
enough to get
He
it.
did most
He
of it
didn't
actually.
take
I actually did. I actually took government class too. Listen, that's not my point. My point is that you should be able to fix a pipe, cook a meal, and balance a checkbook before you leave into society.
Yeah, but
that's
that's-
your vocational. Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
but again,
How
you're
you gonna
Get the
learn
fuck out of here.
But you're going into a station. So, but there's not. What? So what's
Get the fuck out.
If you take it out, then what?
You smelly teenager. Put some fucking deodorant on.
If you take it out now, then what?
You fix the system we have. 12th grade,
but then it goes-
you learn all that shit.
But you can't. There's no fixing the system. Like you have
But
to have
what
a
you're
plan
saying
in
is that
place.
we need to have classes in school that do that.
By the 12th grade, you should be able to fix a pipe.
If you're saying
Cook a meal
if you're saying that
and
they should
balance
have
a
these
checkbook.
classes, I agree with you.
Get rid of this shit. Next one. School,
Get out of here,
school lunch program.
liar!
Liars.
I'm interested in this one. Let's see what you got to say.
We're
here.
gonna start with this one, this emotional one first.
All right. All right.
I'm trying to follow the coordinates
All
of my
right.
fingers.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm fingering my
Keep it.
keyboard.
keep the school lunch.
Oh, you want to feed? Let me shut up. Go ahead.
They're gonna be in school for 8 hours and they're gonna feed them.
Absolutely.
That's
keep it.
crazy,
Yo, he's about to say it though. So look,
right?
It's a
Get
really
it
fast
out
for
of
me.
here. Let them starve to death.
Bring your own shit.
You should have came legally.
They have the lunch boxes now with ice packs, and we're in
Yo,
vats
bro,
now.
Come on, man. With egg prices the way they are, bro.
I
come
think
on,
that's
man.
a long time for them to be in school without food.
Absolutely.
I would feed them.
No, but he
But
still
I would-
has an answer, which is
that
to
would-
just bring food from home.
That would be just like the voucher I was saying with school. That would be part of it.
This guy loves vouchers, bro. He has a coupon book that says vouchers.
I think that's what it should be. Yeah, I think you should pay per student, and that's it, flat rate across the board.
Ready for my
More
answer?
students you have, get it out.
Get it the fuck out of here! Build farms, build nurseries,
Have them work in the
have
farm.
them work and cook their own, make their own food.
Build a-
They
build a farm in
they-
Brooklyn.
They need physical activity, right? Put them in the farms.
in Brooklyn.
No, in Brooklyn. No, this is the only one that I would say you keep.
Oh,
The only one I say you keep.
You got to feed them, bro.
Look,
That's
a
crazy.
tear came out.
So
of his eye.
far, you know what it is? I got hungry. I got hungry. I'm like, that school lunch was banging. I don't care what anybody says. I was poor.
Honestly, the fish sandwich with the cheese, the best. I
fish?
loved it.
Oh, no.
I
Chicken-
loved it.
it was chicken patty
I
for me.
still get Chick-fil-A from the chicken.
Oh, the chicken
oh,
patties.
the fish.
The chicken.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't know if you liked it, but the
God.
spinach. I used to love the spinach. I don't know why.
Yeah, I used to eat
Spinach.
all of it. I was like, this is rich people food. That's how poor I was. All right,
All right, so school lunch
let's
keeping.
We keep it. Tax benefit programs. funds for certain tax benefit programs related to education.
If I were to keep this, it'd be temporary. I would tell the school, you got 10 years to establish yourself at a school, and then now you have to rely on your own, your own support.
Okay,
I would
so
keep it.
so far we have Noel with keeping 3.
3. Yeah, the student loans I can't.
My guy over here is picking
Because
4.
you know what it is about student loans too. That's another one. When you go,
And I'm barely feeding niggas out here.
if you do Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the student loans don't go away.
They stay.
It is predatory, bro.
So
and I do hate it.
I'd rather get rid of it.
I know, we get it. You hate loans.
I'd rather somebody never deal with this.
I have a feeling he has a lot of loans. That's probably why he hates
I'm
it.
sorry, I don't got any.
I mean, I would get rid of it.
I hear
would
horror
get rid of
stories.
it. I would get rid of it if we could. If we could.
All right. So
Obviously, the system would have to be different for us to get rid of it because they're definitely predatory.
Yeah, not so bad. Yeah.
all right. So federal funding. Let's just read this real quick. The federal government provides a portion of the total revenue for elementary and secondary education, with states and local governments providing the majority. So already the local governments are providing the majority funding for their school programs. State and local funding. States and local funding contribute significantly from K through 12 public education. That's a fact. That's
Right. So local governments are currently
Already
providing the majority.
of the majority.
So now we take away the supplemental stuff from the federal, and then what does that leave us? We still suck. Our education is not the worst. We pretend like it's the worst, but
Hold on. I had to look it up.
it doesn't change anything.
In New York, per student per year, the government pays $29,873.
the federal,
New York.
the state,
Yeah.
29,000.
Go. Let's do some math here.
Okay.
And then let's say how many kids are in a classroom? 30. 30, right? That's an
I
average.
would,
How many is a class?
Maybe like 20, 28, 28.
Are we talking about New York City?
Oh yeah, well, high schools. Like what are we talking about?
How many
know.
students are in New York
Elementary.
City?
I say 28.
No.
Electricity.
28.
No.
What do you say?
I'm just trying to think for one classroom, how much money does a school make with that price?
Oh, okay. So if there's 30 kids, let's say 28 kids per classroom, times 28,000. What you got?
Times 28, you say?
Yeah.
836,444. That's a lot of money for one classroom. You're only paying one teacher. How much you paying a teacher? 100,000?
In New York.
The
Are we-
most?
are we
They
going-
thought you 100? They don't make 100.
That's what I'm
in
saying.
New
Let's
York,
say,
they do.
but let's just say 100,000. That means that the school is pocketing $700,000 per classroom.
Right, but you got to understand.
Even if they paid rent, janitors, all that, you have more than one classroom in your school. How many classrooms are in your school?
Yeah, but
How many school? Let's say they had 300 students in the school. That's a lot of money that a school's just wasting.
Yet certain schools get more
If
than
if you
others.
made if you told a private school, the American government will give you 20,000, save 9,000 off the top. We'll give you 20,000 per student per year, each student. You have 300 students in your class. That's a lot of money. The private schools will be like, yeah, we'll do that. And if you do bad, now obviously you let the parents choose what school they want to put their kid in, right? Because obviously there could be some competition. Like, oh, we'll do more for them, or we have a track record of graduating kids, or whatever. We have a track record of them going to college or whatever. And then eventually the schools that suck, parents are going to be taking their kids out of it, and the school's going to go broke and close down. And then the school that's really good will be like, we'll buy that building. We have a good program. We're going to expand.
Make it bigger.
Yeah. But the current public school system is just drop your kids off, we'll babysit them for you. And if they pass, they pass. If they fail, they fail. We don't care. It doesn't matter to us.
That's
We're
part of it.
We're getting
That's
paid
part of
anyway.
it.
We don't care. I also think parents are the problem. But
I also think there might be some cherry picking of the negative aspects of it. There are a lot of positives.
of
but
public school.
of course.
Let's go. Which one? Pick one. Pick your favorite one.
Well, it was funny because we were talking about the food before, right?
Delicious
And,
food.
But you did mention the babysitting, so you know what? Let me not go
But
there.
there may be other businesses that pop up that say, hey, if you don't want that government food, we'll give you a freaking menu.
Mhm.
And you get to choose, and we'll cook it for you and drop it off. They have secret kitchens. You ever heard of that?
Secret kitchen.
So let's say you order Chipotle.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Chipotle is a bad example, but let's just say you order Chipotle. Instead of it coming from actual Chipotle, they have these secret kitchens that cook it like Chipotle,
Oh, dope.
and they pick it up and they bring it to you. And they do like 5 different restaurants in that one little fake kitchen. I forgot, they call them ghost kitchens or something like that. Those same businesses could be like, hey, we'll cook for your whole school actually, and we got a legit menu. You know, Monday you could be, you know, Chinese food. On Tuesday we have tacos. On Wednesday we do pizza. Like, we'll hook your kids up, and, you know, I think those will pop up because they're businesses. You know, if I could, you know, a restaurant, their overhead is like what, 5%? I think, like, the profits a year. It's crazy thin. So for a secret kitchen, or ghost kitchen they call them, they'll probably make more money selling to a school, because the school's like, hey, we have this money, we'll pay you, instead of relying on this government food that's like whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's an opportunity if you take aspects of capitalism and merge it with aspects of like socialism. But I think people want all or nothing. They're not willing to, like, okay, we'll do some of this. Like, I'm gonna feed all my kids, but obviously I want to go with the best price. Like, I'm not just gonna give a blank check to the government and be like, give us whatever you want, because they're gonna give you. They're gonna, any business. You see it over here in New York City. How long it takes to do construction somewhere?
No,
because they're milking the system. You know,
of course.
You got 10 guys doing one job, and most of them are just standing because, again, they're milking the system.
Red tape, all that.
You know, the government's giving them a blank check. It's like, yo, just get it done. So I think if you say, hey, let's cut a deal, I'll pay you X amount of money for this much food, and that's it. We're not giving you overtime money.
I think you're coming from an honest place.
Yeah.
I just don't think politicians are. You know,
so
that's where we have the problem.
I think the problem is not us as people.
Of course.
I think it's the partisanism. That's like, I'm not gonna help if you're a Democrat and it's your idea and I'm a Republican. I don't want to listen to your idea. I'm not gonna vote for it.
And we're getting even
I'm
more.
only gonna vote for the Republican idea, which don't make no sense to me. Why not? We're not talking about the school program and make it the best one that we could possibly make. Why is only my team that gonna win? I'm willing to give you guys a win if it's gonna help everybody.
So I mentioned the food thing before, but what we could have talked about was the education part of it. So you don't think with giving it back to the states, certain states will be allowed to teach things to their kids that, I mean, you kind of see it in certain states where it's just like, whoa, it's kind of funny money you teaching that. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that being taught, or how that's not real history? And, you know, you're seeing that in actual states like Florida or Alabama or something like that in the South, you know, but that would be more widespread, no?
You're gonna see it widespread, and you're gonna see those kids be asked out, and people are gonna be like, yeah, we can't do this anymore. You know, there's gonna be a generation of kids that's gonna grow up thinking weird things, and they're gonna be like, yo, just like anything else, we're gonna copy their idea. They had a good idea. We're gonna do it over here.
Because right now the federal government doesn't provide the curriculum for the school.
No. I don't even know if they set standards. I don't even know if they actually set standards. I think that might be done on a state level.
Everything.
But even that, I'd rather bring it to a federal level and say everybody has.
It's not on a federal level right now?
I don't know. That's a good question.
We should look that up. That's an interesting.
Are educational standards federal or state?
State.
Is it?
United States by the state level,
Yep.
not by the. So I would say bring it to the federal level, and tell every school you have to like 1 to 65 is passing.
It's not because, remember that it's these.
That actually makes sense now.
It's not because it's these United States.
Yeah.
And every state, as they became colonized, every state became its own entity. They had their own education system, their own history. They were learning things. You weren't learning the same thing you were learning in New York than you were in Ohio or in a rural, more central state, right? They were more agricultural learning versus city learning, right? Yeah. So each thing was different, and it stayed that way.
I'm okay with that, but I think that there has to be some kind of standard, like a minimum requirement,
right?
The least possible. This is where you at. This is the baseline. So you should go here.
I think that those standards, if you set those standards, that mindset of a standard should also follow the money. In other words, if we're setting a standard that everyone has to learn about all the presidents and how the presidents got here, then I'm funding that aspect of it, and I'm feeding you. Everything else is on your state to do what they got to do.
No, but okay, that's why
science
for the basic stuff. You mean
the basic stuff? Again, the K through 12 stuff should be you being able to learn your history of your country, because it's the United States,
not Mexico,
or
you
Canada.
Liberals, Canada.
So that's all I'm gonna fund. I shouldn't fund anything else. No loans. There's no handouts here. There's your state. You deal with the way you want to deal with your education, the way your state deems fit.
Now, would you give out more money per race?
I think in a perfect
if
world,
your state, hold on, if your state is wilding out with the money and what they're doing with it, then you could come knock on my door.
Yeah.
And I'll intervene for you.
Yeah, but there is a system for that already, right? You would sue the school, and that goes to, now the United States is like, what's going on down there?
Yeah. Let's keep that.
There's already a system like that, yeah.
Yeah, let's keep
You
let's,
see that?
but let's use that
You see
system.
that here in New York a lot too, actually.
But that's what I'm saying.
Certain
Like,
services you don't get if your kid is on
if you have
spectrum,
a minimum standard, and you have to give a report card every year to the government. That's what the government does. The Board of Education, we're going to keep. Give us the report card of the school, and as a government, we're going to say that's a good school. We'll keep it open. But if the school's constantly failing to pass kids, the government's got to step in and goes, look, we're going to have
the state government.
No, I think the federal government have to go to the state and be like, this school, if it doesn't improve, we have to shut.
So
this
what
school
you're
down.
saying is,
It'll be basically like the what is it called for the food? The USDF. What's the food standards? What is that called? I lost everybody. Yeah.
gone.
What's the food standards? When the government has an agency for food standards.
No salmonella.
Yeah, no salmonella. USDF, right?
There you go.
Right. Well, they do with the meat, the beef. USDA. Something like that.
USDA grade.
So the government, the Department of Education, will be the USDA of learning.
So in other words, the states give up their report cards.
They have
and
to.
the government.
They have to
government.
prove that they're teaching a minimum of reading, writing, minimum. Because we can't have kids going into the workforce be like, I don't know how to read. That's crazy. But if you left the states up to it, they might just be able to. Yeah, we could pass them. Keep giving us money, government.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that by what Trump is doing right now, because that was the original question, how do you think Trump is doing so far in his first 100 days? Has it been 100
Not
days?
even. No, he's been on 2 months. Bro.
Hasn't even been 100 days.
Shit, it feels like a year.
Wow. That was when it comes to the Department of Education, nothing's happened. I mean, and if
Well,
you
he's
think
firing this federal employees that are being fired from the Board of Ed right now.
people,
Get him out.
people are getting fired, but is it affecting? I don't know if you have kids in the school system. Is it affecting them? It's not affecting mine.
Not yet.
Well, each state technically has its own Board of Education,
Right.
right?
So
So, yeah.
But as a whole, I think it's going to eventually affect schools when that money is not coming to the schools that needed it for certain programs,
Look it
certain
up.
things.
What is he
that they're doing?
What's going to happen with these programs?
That's,
Maybe we should look
that's
that
my
up.
thing. What is there to replace these things that are helping millions of people out there, bro?
Look it up. Where's the mouse? There we go.
what do
I
you-
love the ideas of what we can do to replace, but if there's not a replacement and it's just we just
Let me
we
see.
just doing shit, burning the bridge down, and
Uh-oh.
We're burning bridges.
What's replacing the programs from the Department of Education? That's
The WhiteHouse.com.
oh, let's not
hey, you can't go any harder than that. Whoa, America.
probably
COVID.
probably not a
This might not be it. This may be some Joe Biden stuff because it was started with right here. Improve program implement higher education. I just want to see what's happening. Closing the Department of Education, returning
Step
authority to the
2.
states. Blah blah blah. General provisions. Nothing in order shall be constructed, impair, otherwise affect. The authority granted by law. Executive. Blah, 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 blah. Directive.
only the
management,
president
budget
can make decisions.
Oh, okay. That's not.
Wait, that last part was important.
No, this is just the what's the name of that called? The thing that he signs, executive order. That's all it is.
Okay.
So, but the instructions have to go to somebody else.
But the nothing shall impair, doesn't that mean that
Nothing
none
can
of
stop
these
it.
Nothing can get in the way.
You know what's a more specific?
What does Trump plan to do with the Board of Ed now that he's dismantling it? I guess kind of long, but I'm sure you could.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me ask. Where's the thing? Oh, it's over here. What's the name of the program for the kids that are handicapped? What do they call that?
IEP,
No, that's
special education?
Okay.
yeah.
What's going to happen to
with that.
special education when the Department of Education is closed? Searching robot. Department of Education is closed. Special education oversight will be like Department of Health, Human Services. Okay, so so that's not going anywhere, right? That's what's happening, basically.
Nope.
So then what else? Oh, civil rights. Oh, right here, look. Enforcement is currently
Yeah, but
falls under the
funding.
Department of Education. Will move to the Department of Justice.
Just because the departments are moving,
Okay, so look.
funding is going to change.
No, but I think if the fund, I don't know if they're going to do with this. This is my assumption. They're going to keep the funding for these things and give them to these other programs and just get rid of the funding for the actual Department of Education. Get rid of that, bring it back to the government.
I'd have to see that. I would see that.
Badly explained. Badly explained.
Badly.
In other words, you're the middleman allocating these funds.
Mhm.
We don't need to pay you to allocate this. We already have other departments that are doing this work.
Yeah.
We're just going to fund the money that way and let these people earn their salaries.
So look, the
We
loans.
have a Department of Health that's not
That's what you said,
delegating.
though.
Yeah.
It's not delegating that Department of Education. Y'all just sitting here doing what? Here, now you got to deal with these kids.
Ah! I hate kids. So look, they're not getting rid of student loans, going to the Department of Treasury, right?
Doesn't that make sense?
No, yeah, no, it makes sense. That's what I'm saying. It's just
Why are you giving
it's
it to
a
bunch of-
bureaucracy that's just there for no
Why are you
reason.
giving it? It's like giving us the money when you have all these specific departments that are already dealing with
Yeah.
these specific areas, and you're giving a bunch of people this ability to delegate this money.
None of this is concrete, though. Likely be transferred. We don't know. I mean, according to this,
Look it up.
No. I mean, it could be. Right?
Where'd you get this information from? Forbes. Civil. Oh, I heard about this one. The civil rights one I heard about though. That they're gonna try because they're like, it's already against the law to discriminate people for race.
And we
So
have a department that.
Why is the schools dealing with this? Let the law deal with it because it's against the law. Look it up. What's this?
Funding, coordination, impact, civil rights, shift oversight.
I think we talked about this one. I feel like this is familiar. A lot of this because I remember looking.
don't think-
I remember looking all this up at
You
one
don't,
point.
I get what you guys are saying about the middleman, but you don't think, depending on what we're talking about here, that can also, in essence, kind of like overburden certain
Agencies.
agencies? Yeah. So, like, if you have, like, the police department, right? And there's just, for example, I'm just giving you the police department as an example just to break it down. Like, they deal with people who have mental issues.
Yeah.
Should they have to deal with that? You know, should that be something that another, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
agency
No,
is...
the help.
Oh, yeah.
Because
You
police
shoot
shouldn't-
them.
well, I'm just if you take that
Well, if you shoot, you
mindset
get rid of
and
them
put it-
forever. There's no more dealing with them anymore. We're done. We're saving
They're
so
gone.
much money
That's it?
already. How much is a bullet? What are we talking about
Pretty
here?
cheap, actually. And you could technically
No, but-
recycle it.
You might even be able to take some people from the Department of Education that deal with that and just move them over. What you're doing is getting rid of the bureaucracy of it. The building, the rent, all the managers that we don't need. We have managers in this other office. Why do we need two sets of managers here to manage the same thing? Get rid of the managers. Vivek Ramaswamy, when he was running for president, he was talking about the managerial class. He goes, "It's over bloated of bosses and supervisors that don't do nothing all day. They're
Yeah.
useless."
So to me, yeah, I totally agree with what's going on. I think that sometimes the best way to deal with something is by completely dismantling it and building it up again. To me, it doesn't mean that these funds that are you could destroy a department while not getting rid of the things that it's already doing.
I agree.
You know what I mean? You could simultaneously do both. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like what Doge is doing is just identifying where the fat is, and then suggesting all these things. And I feel bad. Now, this is where I feel bad. Not for the illegals. I feel bad for... Yeah, you're welcome.
The Americans losing their jobs.
I feel bad for the Americans losing their job. But at the same time, I'll go into the private sector and I'll see how they run stuff.
Spelled it wrong.
And a lot of times, it's really inefficient. They're spending so much money, wasting money. And then you have companies that all they do is cut fat. So why aren't we doing the same thing with the government? Think about the post office hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
Who the hell needs mail? Who the hell needs? We need Amazon.
Yeah.
We don't need a letter.
I do think that we need. I don't know if it's a full agency to do this, but we need the stamp 50 cents to send the letter. We need that opportunity for people. And maybe the government could tell UPS or whatever, you guys do that. That's something you have to do if you want to run in this country. We'll get rid of everything else because you guys do packages and all that. But we need these letters delivered and you have to drop them off.
A letter.
Yeah, a letter.
When's the last time you wrote a letter?
I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about other people that do
worried
it.
about you.
I'm not worried
Answer
about
the question.
I never sent it. I got no reason for it.
Old people got to go down.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
Get
this,
rid of them too.
if I wanted to send a
They're on their
letter,
way out.
if I wanted to send a letter, I don't want to pay UPS $10 to send one letter. I want to be able to put a stamp on it for 50 cents to send a letter.
How about send an email?
Well, some people don't like emails, son. What about with those cards they get for your birthday? You want the physical, to make music, and we want that.
Who the hell is we?
It's funny when
The American people.
Yo, it's funny though that we're talking about this, and like when progressives were talking about how we need a transition to a more cleaner place, right? Oh, what are you gonna do with all the people that exist there now in the oil? You know, I'm like, for me, I'm all about there has to be some sort of transition, right? I'm not saying to just get rid of millions of or thousands of workers. There should be some sort of transition, and nobody's talking about that. It's just get rid of them, fire everybody.
Well, he got rid of a bunch of workers, and the judge ordered that they have to go back, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, because they were still getting paid to just be home, no?
Yeah, I don't know what the ins and outs of that one. They may have contracts. If you have a contract, it's hard to just you can just fire people.
But
Just
there's
get
something
home.
called the.
I'm trying not to make noise. I'm sorry.
I think it's like this.
These pretzels were not good.
We should also bring back segregation.
There's this. There's this here. The WARN Act. The WARN Act is a U.S. labor law that requires employers with over 100 employees to provide 60 calendar days notice before a planned closing or mass layoff.
Oh, so these people know they're getting fired anyway. It's coming, but not yet.
But they have to be given advance notice, and that's I think I'm not a lawyer, but when he fired all those people, he was breaking this.
I wonder if they can
labor
sue them
law.
now. All those people can sue them.
It's
There's
not
going to be a lot of lawsuits.
Yeah, there's going to be lawsuits, but what I'm saying is that they got their job back because they wasn't given ample notice.
So they got the notice now. So now
They got the notice.
You got 60 days now.
You got 60 days to go.
Good luck. Also, as I was looking it up, I don't think Doge has the authority to do anything other than make recommendations and pass them over.
Well, if they
I don't think they actually
get their way with the Supreme Court. No,
but I don't know. But I know that right now they don't have, like, if they wanted to get rid of agency, they can't.
Oh, look, the Warren Adjustment and Retention Notification Act, while generally applicable to the private sector employees, does not apply to federal entities. Instead, federal employees are covered by specific regulations regarding reductions in workforce, which determines their rights and options during layoffs. So that's for the private sector.
Oh,
So they have something different. But maybe that's why he violated it, right? Because I dealt with this once in a private company where they were like, we're closing, we're done. And instead of giving them the 60 days, they gave them 60
hours. You got a week. Figure it out.
No, so the
still the number 60. So
no, 60 days is 8 weeks. So they give them 8 weeks check. Everybody came in that day to go to work
I would
in
have
their
been like,
uniform.
all right, I'll take it.
And you got to check. Here you go, 8 weeks. There's your notification.
Yeah. I would have
Figure it out. You didn't have a
Sounds
choice.
cool on paper, but we got a family.
You didn't have a choice.
I mean, you got 8 weeks to find a job, right?
And it came
Good
with
luck.
HRA number. It came with 311 number,
311.
unemployment. It came with all these
A letter of recommendation. Good luck, buddy.
that you have to ask for. But yeah, it came with all the resources you need to help you find another job. So maybe
How about you get me the other job first, and then you can find me?
That's socialism.
So it's hard to ask that question that you asked earlier. How do you think Trump is doing? Because there's a lot of right. There's a lot of doing. There's no effect.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't like what I'm seeing so far in terms of like people just getting fired and like obviously food prices are still kind of going up, and
they're gonna
things
keep
like
going.
that. The fear that people are having, and for example, what's happening right now with the Columbia University, the students, just people getting kidnapped off the street for having different political views. Just,
Kidnapped.
you saw that?
I'm gonna say kidnapped, bro. When you coming in a mask and you taking somebody off the street that.
Oh, you're talking about, like,
without an
ICE?
actual charge, yeah, like.
Well, this is what I saw, and I may be wrong. What I read was
He's wrong.
so like there was one guy that got arrested in a protest, and they were like, he worked with an agency or whatever, a student coalition that supported Hamas.
That's horrible.
Hamas is labeled as a terrorist organization as far as the government's concerned. You are affiliated with a terrorist organization, and now you no longer are allowed to stay in the United States as your green card. We take it away from you because you're associated with a terrorist organization. You got to go.
So they have no proof of that, and the courts.
No, he worked for the things. We have. I'm thinking about the one kid that got it. The first kid.
From Colombia.
I don't remember what his name was. He was
Mahmoud
Mahmoud something.
That's racist.
How do you know?
His
But
name was Devin.
It's definitely what.
That's his American name. You know they have 2 names. They all have 2 names.
They're dealing with that now. I think today was
How do we
supposed to
keep
be
track?
something big about that.
So that's one thing I saw, that they're charging him with this. Everybody that was pro Hamas or pro this or that, that's how they're getting him easily.
Right, because
Gotta go.
when they apply,
All they got to
But-
do is find
but-
one tweet, says something about Hamas, you're done. Goodbye.
you're saying that it wasn't proven that he was part of this organization.
Yeah, like the courts are saying, "Where's the proof?" And Trump hasn't provided anything yet
for the guy that's in
for everything that they're trying to like say he's doing with the Hamas group and all that stuff. There's no proof of
Where
any
is
of that.
I found it.
Khalil.
I'm trying to figure out where I wrote it out.
It is Khalil. Right?
Khalil.
So where'd you said Devin?
That's his American name.
He's racist. This guy.
Khalil
Unbelievable.
could be considered.
I forgot where I wrote it at.
My
But
name is
then
Kaden,
the
that's
other
mine.
woman,
'Cause
that
I had
was
to look-
snatched
I had
up-
That
to
was
look-
crazy. That was crazy.
I mean, it's visually crazy.
Oh, the
It's visually
Yeah, it's
wild,
crazy, bro. So you agree?
I agree that it visually looks wild.
get him out.
But
Yo, she didn't want to get in that truck, bro, and they like shoved her in there. I'm
it looked like some
oh.
third world country thing. It did. It looked like some.
And what's
it-
her crime?
It looked like ISIS was the terrorist.
What's her crime?
You hear what I'm saying?
I mean-
it visually. But that part, that question, what's the crime? I don't know. You don't know. Does it mean that?
From what
hold
I
on.
do know, there wasn't a crime. Like
Hold on. Because we don't know that there's a crime.
We don't know that
Number
there
one.
wasn't a crime.
We know that there wasn't. We don't know there was. We don't know. Number
And we
one.
don't know what is a crime.
so,
What's defined as
yeah.
We
there-
don't.
There's
If you
there's
overstay
that
your
part.
visa by 1 day, is that a crime?
Yes.
Then maybe
But
she
he-
committed a crime.
But what I'm saying is this.
I don't know
What I'm saying is that we don't. Okay, visually, her getting picked up, the bystanders like, why are you wearing a mask? COVID.
COVID,
No,
hello.
obviously, no.
Convenience. Perfect.
Perfect convenience. Exactly. My thing is that we don't know. But isn't there a system in play that we could hold the ISIS people accountable?
Yeah.
Like, let them operate. They're in their jurisdiction to operate. They must have a cause, right? When they raided that guy, the first Khalil's name, the first guy, Devin. Sorry, Devin. When they raided his house, they had a warrant, right?
That means there's a court that justified that.
There's a court that justified them going in, and they snatched them up, right? So we let them operate, and then isn't it us, the people, that have the responsibility to hold those entities responsible?
Well, we're seeing that now.
Yeah.
We're
So
seeing that now.
everything
I'm
is-
not sure
everything
what's
is
going
good.
to end up happening. I mean, it's not good because
That's what I think.
it
for it to
looks
happen-
horrible.
for it to happen again, bro,
Enough!
and with what the content is,
We made a new
so labeling anyone who's has a difference of opinion on what's happening in Palestine and Gaza and all that,
Get rid of them.
to be like, all right, well, yeah, they're gone. We gotta get rid of them. Like, that's crazy, bro. Like,
Listen, if you're supporting
for
a
political dissent, you could just get kicked out of the
nah,
country, bro.
hold on.
No, but that
I mean, that's
but
what
that's
we're
what I was
seeing, though,
saying.
right? Like,
we're looking at it like, oh, that's political dissent. But what they're saying is he's affiliated with an organization that supports terrorists.
And we don't support
Prove
terrorism.
Autism.
the courts is
All
saying,
the tisms.
The
We don't
courts are
support
saying he doesn't have that proof yet. So I mean, let's.
And what
let's
I'm
see.
saying is that let it play out. The system of government is working, right? You have the governments that are entrusted to ensure this this policy of we don't support people who support terrorism if you're here on a visa. We have this system in play, these entities in play, and they're doing what they were hired, what they're getting paid to do.
So you don't think so? You're pretty much on some trust the system.
No, I'm trusting the whole system.
Okay.
I'm trusting the fact that ISIS saw that this individual, they must have reason to detain this individual. It looks horrible. It's gonna look horrible. It's never gonna be pretty. But I'm also seeing that the people are saying, "Hold up, prove it." Like, you're gonna have your day in court. So to me, all is great. It doesn't look good. It's never gonna look good. And not only that,
Yeah, because
if it turns out that she wasn't doing anything wrong, that the allegations were false,
Hold on,
then
I'm reading it right now.
here's the system again. She gets to sue. She gets to get her day in court in suing them and holding them accountable for what they're doing. And they should be fired. Someone should get laid off. Someone should get suspended. Like, the system works. It's just working out.
I think they're
It's-
definitely pushing the boundaries and testing the system to see how much they can get away with. And I think
that's what Trump does. He
I think
pushes.
I think in doing that,
100%.
it could be a very dangerous thing.
So speaking of this girl, U.S. Department of Homeland Security spokesman said this. She engaged in activities supporting Hamas, a foreign terrorist organization that relishes in killing Americans. From what, and because of that,
They did kill Americans.
because of those reasons, we revoked her visa. She's no longer allowed to stay in this country.
That's it.
Gotta go.
Black and white.
Who said that?
A spokesman for the Department of Homeland Security.
Okay, so that's White House affiliated. All right,
Yeah.
so that would make sense that they would say that.
And they said she's
Right.
also Arab.
So what is her
We
lawyer
don't
saying?
support Arabs.
Oh, that sounds more realistic.
She has the wrong religion, that's what it says there.
That's more accurate, bro. That was the content you didn't add at the first time. The first time around.
Said they not like us. No, listen.
Baba ball.
So
Let's
listen,
get the white American
if
Christians back in
you
there.
can prove it in court, it doesn't matter how you feel about it.
Yeah.
If it's in black and white that she says, so I support Hamas, kill Jews, kill Americans,
You're done.
You're done. And I'm gonna have to say, get out of here.
Even if, but again, I get you saying to let the process play
Especially
out.
after 9/11, people are very sensitive on this issue. They're like, yeah, we don't support.
We
any
don't support that.
organization. Yeah.
But to your point, the system equally, if it turns out that she didn't, she wasn't.
What are the repercussions for them?
Whoever is in charge of that investigation and hunting her down,
She has to lose her job.
Trump.
why
Let's
is she
be
a
real.
she? Can't be a he.
The name was a woman, so I decided.
Yeah, but
I also support women in high positions of power.
Right, sure you
So-
do. Whoever was under that witch hunt should be disciplined.
Like, she gotta
but those people aren't getting.
if you're gonna fire
disciplined.
somebody, it gotta be a woman.
I'm not saying
When
you,
you-
don't know that they are or they aren't.
All right, so what's
I'm
gonna?
saying that they should.
Let's see what happens to this guy
No.
who.
If they were wrong, they should lose their job.
Yeah,
so
And
do
the
you,
lady should be come back into the country, and maybe she should sue and get some money out of it.
maybe.
so do you think the guy
That's
that
great.
just spilt the beans with the reporter of the plans, the military
the
plans?
text. I don't
Yeah,
know.
first he was denying it.
What
went
I-
on national
This
television,
is what I
denied
read.
it.
Okay, here we go.
Now you got Republicans saying
What I
"Yo,
read was
bro."
this.
The war plans.
Yeah, what I read was this. The things that were said on the chat weren't top secret. Those plans get released to the reporters anyway because they didn't have coordinates, they didn't have times, they didn't have those are top secret things that we cannot give out to reporters. So the information the reporter did get was something that they would give reporters eventually anyway.
Eventually,
So I don't know the legalities of the ins and
I mean
outs.
that makes a big difference, right? Because there's eventually meaning after the attack and
Yeah.
after things are done, not
Well,
before.
remember what did you hear what Trump said about it?
Remember Hillary's emails, bro? Like, come on, if you
What did Joe say about it?
When they asked Trump,
Oh,
they were
yeah.
like, "Oh, well, if it got out, aren't you afraid that they would, the other, whatever, I forgot the name of
and what the enemies.
the enemies would find out?" He goes,
Houthis?
"What?" He was like, "Well, it didn't work because they got bombed, so it didn't work. They didn't get it in time."
But I'm saying
It's that raw answer.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, but the hypocrisy is clear as day, bro.
No, listen. When it
The
comes
hypocrisy is
to okay,
clear
when
as
it comes to
day.
those, let's be specific with that situation. This is how I feel about it. You're in this. You're responsible for managing this department, and you effed up. Part of your job is to keep things secret.
Yeah, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
That was Tulsi
So
Gabbard. Who wrote that?
but he comes out.
And I love
He
Tulsi.
comes out.
She
He
looks
denies
like
it.
Rogue.
Oh god.
With the
white
gray
hair.
hair.
That's your crush. That's your crush one.
I will change the channel.
For real?
Hell
So yours
yeah.
is Tulsi.
Because I want her to manhandle me, Rogue. Go ahead.
My vote for is Alexandria Ocasio. That's my
No, the X-Men.
I second
you
that.
idiot.
My girl. I second
No,
that.
X-Men. Which X-Men?
All right, she's my
X-Men?
Yeah.
For X-Men, she could be
Storm.
You can't pick Mystique because that's cheating. That's getting J-Lo.
Nah.
That's getting all the body figures.
I'm gonna go with Storm.
Wait, that's your favorite X-Men?
Storm?
So she can fly me up to the sky and electrocute me.
What a fag.
Jean Grey for me, bro.
Jean Grey. Okay.
She didn't have to touch you. She could just sit right there. and lay
Yeah,
back.
bro. Oh,
Just right here.
Oh.
Jean Grey.
All right.
I like my
Off
abusive.
the rails.
I like my abusive woman. All right, here we go.
Jesus.
I would have seconded the AOC thing, though. I mean,
He just wants her to look like AOC 'cause he's a pervert. All right, look.
What do you think about the Tesla vandalism that's going on right now?
stupid. People are dumb. People are dumb.
okay, I agree.
I mean,
Why are they only attacking the trucks though? I see.
No,
all
they're
the-
attacking everything. Yeah.
Are they? I thought it was just the truck.
It's mostly the truck.
The thing that bothers me is that
Maybe they're just testing the theory. They want to see if it actually
Think about it.
bends.
The truck is not curvy, so the sign comes out more. You know, it's more.
there was a point where they were like they loved Elon.
Who?
Elon Musk. Remember there was
In general?
Yeah.
Peop-
Remember when Elon first made the Tesla? He made it so that way anybody could make it.
Well, he didn't.
He
make
released
the
it.
Tesla.
He didn't. What's the word I'm looking for?
Popular?
He didn't patent it because he wanted people to copy his designs because his idea was I want to just save the world. And then there's an interview where he's like, even if every other car company makes an electric vehicle and I go out of business, it was worth it because I want to save the world. I'm not worried about making money. I've already made my money.
What a fall, right?
No, but he's still doing the same thing. Think about what he's doing. What he did with Twitter. What was his purpose?
Free speech.
Free speech. Even if it costs me money, I'm still going to do it. I want people to be free.
So you think he made Twitter better?
Yeah.
How?
Freedom.
Freedom of what?
Speech.
Anybody can say anything and we can-
100%, baby.
Hold
you just
on.
said
no
it.
repercussions. Yeah, but without any repercussions, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
America, baby.
Or you-
Let's go.
Somebody could go on there right now pretending to be you, and people will believe it's you.
Wait.
People
wait,
do that
wait.
anyway.
Hold on.
The whole Twitter.
Shut up. Let's be specific, because when you say accountability or holding them accountable, there's accountability to that individual, but not to
The company.
X.
Yeah.
What's
That's-
the accountability to the individual?
If you say some crazy shit, fuck around and find out.
No, you just have what did they have a context thing where people are allowed to say like, well, this is true, this is actually false.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah,
about
but-
notes, community notes.
Yeah, but it's community notes, so like
Yeah,
even
but
that
you
is
can't yell
debatable.
fire in a
in the theater, yeah.
in a theater. There's consequences to what you say.
Yeah, there is certain
You're
speech.
Is there?
free.
I mean,
You're free to say
I've seen
whatever,
some
though.
racist
No, there's
stuff all
freedom
over
of
there.
speech, but unless
But-
you're going to hurt somebody with it,
or yourself.
then you're not allowed to. No,
That's-
even as yourself, you can say it.
If you're gonna hurt yourself,
If you say it,
go ahead,
Yeah, you
fuck
can
around
say
and
it.
find out. Do it.
so I'm going to kill myself, they can that's fine. You can say it.
You have
If
to
you
do it
say
right now.
if you say I'm going to do it to somebody specific, you
can
get in
see
trouble
him.
for that. That's called assault
until it
or
happens.
battery or no assault.
Until it happens, that's when
even if you just said it,
Said it.
you're threatening somebody, you can go
That's
to
a
jail for that.
crime.
Yeah, that's a crime.
on. I mean,
That's
yeah,
a
I get
little
that, but I don't know if
But
that's the issue with
the nuance
with
is
Twitter.
if you say I want to off all of Puerto Ricans, let's just say, you don't go to jail for that because that's too general.
And it's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, well, but I use that example because I don't want to say the Jews because that's a classic example.
Oh gosh.
But if you say I want to kill all, whatever, that's fine. You can say it. But if you target a specific person, that's a crime. That's threats.
So you'll be held accountable. Section
Yeah.
230, right, was where
It's section 231 actually, subsection B.
I hate on Twitter.
Tertiary air junction.
shut up this guy. I said it like Star Wars.
I hate on Twitter.
Twitter.
I hate on Twitter that people can like be other people, and like I said, I'm thinking I'm reading the tweets of somebody, and it's not really them.
Yo, let me tell you a story. Dave Chappelle he said I tried to go on Twitter and make an account, and I saw somebody took my name. But he read the tweets and goes, yo, this guy's mad funny. So he just let him rock. You ever heard the story?
No, but that sounds
And then
sounds
he-
like something he was.
And then he noticed that fake account was having beef with Cat Williams
God.
on Twitter.
Then he really let it.
And then one day he ran into Cat Williams in a show. And he walked up to Cat Williams and said, yo, that's not my Twitter account. Somebody took my name. Da-da-da. You know what Cat Williams said? I don't have Twitter. So this was happening before Elon took over. People were just doing it anyway. So I don't see the difference now.
I see a difference.
It's happening a lot more.
Yeah, but
It's
hold on.
easier to do
Hold
now.
on. This is where communism comes into play.
Let's go. Yes.
TikTok is communism.
TikTok is communism.
Absolutely.
In what way?
You
What do you
can't
mean?
say certain words.
Oh, yeah.
There's I don't even know if the words or the things you can't do was something that the people came up with in their own social like experiment thing where it
can't
became
say,
like you can't say this word. You can't say white people.
I don't have TikTok, so I don't.
You have to say YT. But I
Yeah,
don't know if that's
where that came from. That's right.
I
yeah.
don't know if that's a thing that came from the users or from the agency itself.
No,
so
I think
can't.
I think it's financial. If you say these words, we're not going to pay you for that clip.
So it's he's saying that. Well, I'm saying that I don't know if that's an industry, a TikTok regulation, or if it's something that the people created
No, I
amongst
don't think so.
themselves.
How you feel about that though?
of that. I mean, I think people should say
If
whatever they
that's
want.
true, I don't know.
I think people should be able to say whatever they want.
And that's what Elon did with X.
But people,
I
people
want
can
people to
say whatever they
I
want.
want people to say racist things.
You can't do that on TikTok. No.
Because I can see.
I don't know. Like I said,
now I can see who's saying it. Otherwise, they're gonna say behind the wall. Now I don't know
Let me
who's the
put it
racist
to you.
one.
Let me put it like this: you can't drink that cup of water. You can't drink that on TikTok.
Oh yeah, you're not allowed to drink anything on TikTok.
What you just said, I can see people, but you can't because it's not. They could just create a fake account.
Yeah,
So how would you know if that's?
I mean,
There's no repercussions for that person because he's hiding behind a keyboard.
yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying in general. I'd rather know if somebody's racist
That's different.
Or
Yeah, yeah. Like,
or whatever, anything. I want to know who you are.
But you can't.
but we can't now.
Yeah. I mean, if you make a fake account, but I mean, who uses Twitter now?
But there's
I
no
used to.
That's the thing. There's no hiding. Everything is traceable. There's no hiding.
I think there is a lot more hiding now.
There's no such thing as hiding.
Well, but this guy's ice. He's like, no, there's no hiding.
There's no hiding. You don't think if you say some crazy shit, they won't find you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I see. I mean, it depends on what. Yeah, I guess like you said, threatening somebody's life or you
Yeah,
know.
they'll find you.
They'll find you.
No, they'll find you. Yeah.
You're done. There is no that.
If the government
all
wants to
I'm
find you,
saying
if
is
the
that
government
when
wants
you
to find you,
compare free speech,
Add that context.
when I think about the word free speech, the only platform that's doing it the right way, what I believe it's the fair way, is X.
X, yeah.
Whereas TikTok is completely communist. You can't even drink that cup of water.
Yeah,
and go
you're not
live.
allowed to drink anything on video because they don't know what it is. It could be alcohol.
You can't say the word rape. You can't say the word white
Kill.
people. You can't say the word kill.
Is that-
You can't say the word suicide. You can't say any
Yeah,
of
they'll
those
bet
things.
they'll take it off. But that's not people. That's Twitter saying don't do that.
Twitter?
I mean TikTok.
That's TikTok.
Because if you get 1 million views and you said those words, you're not getting that money.
Okay.
So that's how they're using it as a weapon against you.
So you're still allowed to say it.
Yeah. But I also think that's their right
That's the
to do that.
repercussion. Yeah. It's a
That's
business.
their right to do that.
Right, but
As a
don't
couple.
claim that it's a platform for freedom of speech.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
but freedom.
That was their big thing when they were like,
Consequence.
When they were
wanna ban
getting
us.
shut down,
Yeah.
when they were gonna get shut down, the people got together and they sued under what banner? That Trump is trying to take away our freedom. Bitch,
Yeah.
you don't have freedom of speech on that app.
Yeah.
That's why you lost that
But
app.
you do.
Oh, you don't?
So you can say it, but
But
you
don't
just
have
can't make money off.
You don't have to have TikTok. That's what you're saying.
It's
not
can't say
right.
it. It's not about money either. You just can't say it.
I
You
don't-
will
I
get
don't know if
banned.
that's
No,
true.
but what he's saying is TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that. You don't need any of that. So there's no real law protecting you to have those things.
Mhm.
So that's not freedom of speech. If you go to the government and say, "Hey, you violate my freedom of speech because they keep me off TikTok," they could be like, "That's between you and the business.
I
Has
agree.
nothing to do with American government."
Yeah.
You can still say whatever you want.
Yeah.
You just can't use that platform to do it. So they can do that as a company.
Yep.
But
I don't mind that.
as us, we look at them like that's not the right way.
Wait, so then there's my question. You said you don't mind that.
I don't mind that.
Do you want a company? Do you want all social media to be able to tell you what you can and cannot say?
No, but I think it's like if you think back to the civil rights era, like with the signs and shit. Like,
Yeah,
like
get rid of it. I think they should bring those back.
well,
I think about most of the
stopped
world.
that law, too.
Most of the world doesn't have these laws, and they're doing just fine. Right? Australia doesn't have civil rights laws, and they're doing just
but
fine.
when we didn't have that law, we weren't doing fine because those signs were up.
Do you think we need it today?
In
If they
certain
got rid of it-
states, yes.
If they got rid
Yo,
of it,
bro, there's still sundown towns in certain states.
but think about it this: does that interfere with our freedom of association?
in certain states, what
I'm
do you
just
mean?
saying, if on the First Amendment we have a freedom of association, we can associate whatever you want.
Correct.
If the government is saying no, you cannot segregate, people,
Mhm.
is that not a violation of our First Amendment? The government stepping in and say you're not allowed to not have this guy. You have to let him in. That's a violation of my freedom of association. Now,
In other words, if I only want people who,
if you only want white people in your business,
in my golf course,
yeah, and the government says no, you have to accept everybody.
everyone.
You should be able to like, no, that's you're going against my freedom of association.
This is
That's-
this
that's-
is a Puerto Rican golf club.
Yeah, exactly. I
You're
should
not
be able to
Puerto
have
Rican.
that.
You ain't in here, bro.
And it gotta be DNA test, bro.
Gotta be in
But what I'm saying is this: if you had a whites only bar in Manhattan, how long before that bar gets shut down? Because nobody's gonna start going there. There'll be protests. People shut it down. Other countries don't have these rules, and they're doing just fine without it.
See, but you're saying New York. Other states, again, sundown towns. Why does that still allowed to be exist? Like, why does that still happen?
What's a sundown town?
There's certain states in America that this still exists. My son actually went on a basketball tournament, and they were confronted with a situation that after a certain time period,
Time of day.
yeah. If you're a minority, you should not be out in the
Don't be in
streets.
the street because
Find out.
whites only, baby.
I
You're
want to
right.
be outside.
The true Americans are like, listen, after this time, it's America. This isn't El Salvador. I'm sorry.
You'll get warnings from authority. Like, yo, bro. Like,
And you'll go to jail.
Yeah.
well, not that you'll go to jail. Like, you'll get warnings. Like, yo, bro, don't be out
I mean,
at this time.
New York is
But
like
what's
that, right?
gonna happen?
KKK still out there, bro. Sundown towns, bro. I mean, look, bad shit happens. There's
I
still
think-
ignorant people
So I
out there.
put on a KK hat and I blend right in.
But also, the KKK are very popular when people were advertising for them during Trump's presidency, the first time,
Oh gosh.
right?
Second time. Too.
Nobody paid attention to them at all. And then when Trump started running, people were like, excuse me, KKK, what do you think about this? They're like, oh, you're talking to us again. We only had like 10 members. We almost died.
Well,
Thanks.
now they morphed, and now they're.
Thanks for
you know,
supporting us.
So
Now you got
companies.
the white nationalists.
So we agree that companies should be able to do whatever they want when it comes to social platforms.
companies, social platforms.
Well, anything legal.
Legal.
Yeah.
But individuals.
I think people should say whatever they want.
Yeah.
Cause I want the freedom.
As long-
That's how we have good debates, right? You say what you mean, and like what I said about the thing of freedom of association. If you got rid of it, I mean, technically it's a violation. But we all agree we're gonna let that
Let me
slide.
paint the picture.
Let me
Go
just
ahead.
add one little
Go ahead.
context to that.
Please do.
I'm okay with that if we could actually know if there's accountability, meaning like you said something on some social media platform. Cool, you can say it. But now I know who you are.
Yeah.
For you to be able to mask yourself and say that, and now it becomes a thing where it's just like not one person. Now, you know what? Let's create 1,000 bot accounts and everybody's saying the same toxic, nasty, effed up
mean, that's
thing.
what happens now.
No accountability. Well, I mean, especially on Twitter, like, you see that a lot. But again, so there's no accountability. It's like I can't point to anybody for saying something that's really bad. So there's no what's
There's
the
no
repercussion?
repercussions. Yeah.
Wait. But are you talking about legal repercussions, or are you just talking about I don't like what you said?
Like culture, like
Bitch.
people. Yeah, we don't want to associate with you now.
And
Now
I
we
want
know
to
who
call
you are.
you out, bitch,
But you can't call me out because you know who I am.
because I don't know who you are.
Because you're hiding
I'm hiding.
under a fake name, like us.
Vete pa'l carajo, entonces.
We're GED squared. Nobody knows who we are.
Right. So you want to be able to know that user. You want to be
I
like, yo,
wanna-
Jose, I know that was you at the basement,
Yeah, but
bitch.
but this is why I think that.
Bitch, shut
We-
up. Let him answer the
All right,
question.
right.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to, obviously there's still the ability to follow, unfollow people. You know what I'm saying? But like, I
So,
should
okay.
at least be able to know that that's you saying it.
Okay, play this scenario out. I said it, but I'm under the basement. Now you know my real name. Now what? Should
I mean,
what,
no,
what,
I
should,
could
what
just-
should happen to me? You just
Nothing
wanna
should
be-
happen to you. No, I'm just saying, like, because what if it's somebody that I do know? Like, what if it's, if I don't know you, there's not, I'm going to be able to do about
Oh,
it.
like somebody with a fake name, but they see the shit like, yo, what up? Meanwhile,
You
they're
wrote
like-
it.
Bitch, shut the.
No, but I think that's why.
I can't fight.
But you're
so
at my-
nothing's-
but you're
I'm
at
not
my-
gonna do anything about it. That's for sure.
But I think that's why we have things like Blue Sky.
What's that?
Because people are like, oh, I don't want to mess with Twitter. I'd rather go to Blue Sky.
I don't know what Blue Sky is.
It's just another one.
These guys are fake.
Is that a
liberal.
Democratic thing?
Yeah.
Really?
It's
Oh,
a
shit.
hardcore liberal.
It's just
But-
another.
but-
I'm a hardcore liberal, yet I'm still on Twitter.
But
I'm
also-
annoyed with it, but I'm still on Twitter.
But also, I think that that's a detriment to society as well. Because now you make it echo chambers. Or the right over here, or the left over here. That's all we hear is the same ideas.
Yeah,
over and
but
over
we've
again.
been
On
doing
both
that-
sides, though. That's either way.
Bro,
Even with this, the way
guys,
we have it
we've
now.
been doing that since lunchroom. Where do you go to in your in lunchroom? You go to your table.
Yeah.
Bunch
But
of
I mean-
Mexicans, a bunch of Puerto Ricans, a bunch of white teens.
But that's why I think that when we look
White
at,
tees.
we want to learn, look at the way they do it in jail, and you'll learn. Because the way they do it in jail was specifically by race, by culture, by, you know what I'm saying? All the blacks over here.
Yeah,
all
but
the,
that
all the,
starts in elementary school.
What I'm saying is that that's the base humanity. We all think like this, right? So, like, I'm Puerto Rican. If I see somebody picking on a Dominican, I'm going to step in. But if I see the Dominican picking on a Puerto Rican, guess what side I'm picking?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Really? Hey, you a
Right?
bully?
But I'm saying, like,
He
that's
is a
how
bully.
that's how we do it. That's how everybody does it.
And it's a cultural thing.
You know what I'm saying? If they see if a white guy sees a black guy getting jumped, they're gonna step in. Hey, don't do that. But if they see a black guy
Would
and a
you
white guy,
rather have
you know.
a social if you had here's a good way. Here's a good
Let's
way.
go.
Here's a good example. Ready?
get them out.
So you have the big ones, right? Let's name the big ones. You got TikTok, you got Twitter, also really known as X. I'm pretty sure Elon gets pissed off every time they call it Twitter.
He
right?
says he doesn't care.
Still Twitter for me.
He
It's
cares.
fucking Twitter, bro.
That's my son's name. Fuck you. Call it X.
That was his first website, x.com.
He's a pervert. Listen, you have these two big giants.
PayPal used to be x.com.
Yeah. You want to keep going? You want to keep
Get your
advertising
point.
for him? This bitch don't shut up. Where's this off button? Hold on, let me see if I can. Listen, so
He
you
made
have
$100
these-
million when he sold it.
You have these two big.
That's how I started the other
I'm just gonna
businesses.
mute him in the episode. So all they're gonna do is hear my voice,
But he always,
and then he's just gonna be
it's
moving
something
his
funny to
mouth.
say every time, bro.
Yeah, you have these two big boys, right? One censors the shit out of you. The other one doesn't censor the shit out of you. Okay, you have these two, and then you have a third. Ready for the third? It's called the WhiteHouse.gov social media platform. Should they censor you?
Truth Social, you mean?
Okay, now it's known as no, it's not.
No.
A government
No.
site that's social media.
Like the government made one.
The government made one.
Eesh.
.gov chat. Keep it mad corny.
It's the best dating site on the internet.
.gov
So-
chat.
So,
So
now what
you
you
think that the government, I mean, I don't know. Bro.
you think the government should have his own? Is that what you're saying?
I'm asking you if it did have its own.
What would it be? What would you allow? For it?
What would you allow? What would it be? Would it be censored? Is it the same rule apply as the two other ones?
I don't think the government would even get into that.
That's not the question. That's not the question.
I don't think there's a way for the government to do that.
That's not the question either.
You're saying they have to make one by law.
What I'm saying is that,
Ocasio-Cortez passed a law.
are they set by the same standards that TikTok?
I think it has to be set by the standards of the Constitution. It has to be.
It has to be.
So it's fair game for them.
Fair game. Say all the gays you want. As many gays as you want. You can say it.
You just did.
I'm going to keep going, too.
Knock, knock.
We'll be banned on TikTok, but on Twitter it's free game.
Will be banned on TikTok, but on Twitter it's free game.
But that's why they have these. That's why there's the echo chambers. That's why you have Rumble and Truth Social, because they feel like, hey, I should be able to say whatever I want. Just because you find it offensive doesn't mean it actually is offensive.
Yeah, but you know what? I also notice like on when I go into the live streams that are debating politics and whatnot, they never want to be with their own kind, right? Like they'll have a room, right, with people to jump in a box and have a conversation, and
20v1.
it's like you have a bunch of Republicans, and I say, oh, we have these empty slots. Request to join, but don't join if you're one of us.
Yeah, but try to let the other team join. Yeah,
We want the other team to join. So echo chambers really, if you go into a room where everyone agrees with you, you get bored after a while.
yeah. But think about Truth Social and Rumble. How many left wing things ever you see on these, and they're going fine. Rumble's catching up. Think about how Rumble's growing. They're buying. They're actually paying people to make content now.
Yeah, but it's all left. It's all right, rather.
Yeah, but they're not bored of it. They love hearing it.
Yeah.
No, because they feel like they have an outlet that
Yeah.
they didn't have before. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously a conservative or a Republican will tell you that everything on social media or the media in general is all left
It's
leaning.
left-leaning, yeah.
So now they have this outlet. It makes sense financially to make something like that,
Of course,
but I don't know if you guys have you seen those 20v1 debates?
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Oh, the ones on. I forgot
What's the name? It's not Ripple, right? What is it? I forgot the name of the platform.
You know what you said 20v1? I thought about the balloon.
I don't know what that is.
The balloon pop, the dating shows.
Oh.
You never seen those?
No.
They're so funny. Some guy will walk in and there's like 5 girls.
Oh, you know what?
And they pop the balloon.
Yeah. I saw a clip.
It's so funny, bro.
I saw a clip, and then when I saw one of the girls. She's like, "Can I get my balloon back?" Because
Yeah.
the guy he had money and stuff. But the 20v1 shows, the last one I watched was.
Oh, this is what I was talking about, the balloon ones. See? There's actually another one that they actually interview. It's like speed dating. They do it.
Yeah, they put like 20 women with balloons in their hands, and the guy walks in and like pop.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
30 pops instantly.
No, it's damn, what is it called? No, let's put it on video. Shit. No, it's not called 20v1. It's something else. It's the one where they have like one conservative versus a bunch of Democrats in a circle.
Yeah,
and they
that's
have
the one
like
I'm
flags.
talking about. Type in just put Sam Cedar, because that was the last one I watched, and I know it'll come up right after that.
Is that it?
Oh, well, 20v1. Sam Cedar.
Sam Cedar. Oh, right here. 20 Trump supporters versus take one progressive Sam Cedar. I hate this guy.
Why?
I think he's dumb.
Why? He's dumb.
I think he's dumb.
I like Sam.
Every
bro.
time I listen to him, I'm like, no, bro, that's not what they mean.
This girl right here.
Yeah. At first, I watched some of this, and I think even these idiots that are in a circle, I think everybody in this whole thing is dumb.
You got that too?
Every single one, I'm like, they're all idiots. They picked bad people for everything. The whole thing was bad. But the one with Charlie Kirk, you saw the one?
I thought he got pretty hit bad on a couple of those debates.
That's what I'm saying. That one was better because at least they got people that knew what the hell they were talking about. You know what I'm saying?
But
And
isn't it safe to say that? Well, first and foremost, I think Sam Cedar's a lot more informed on
I don't know.
political
I've never
views
seen any of these
than
people
Charlie Kirk.
in my life.
Wait. Wait. Would you do this?
Would I do this?
I would love
I
to
wouldn't
do
mind
this.
do this. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing this.
I'm not doing
I
it.
would love doing this. Look at this guy. Who are these people? I never seen any of
Especially
these
when it's a topic I don't know what's gonna go into.
people.
I mean, you have people that don't know what the hell they're talking about, bro. Or they'll go there with the weakest arguments. I'm sure you've seen it. Then you have some people that actually will give him a good fight, you know?
Yeah,
But
but
the thing with him, I just thought that
Like my thing is, look, they got the circle, right? Why didn't they get Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, like a real
I
conversation?
would love that.
This is what Charlie Kirk does, where he gets like a, all right, or what is the other guy, Crowder, where you go to college, like, all right, come to the thing. He's just a kid that doesn't know much about life.
Correct.
Now the argument is we both vote, so it's only fair that we have this conversation.
Absolutely.
But they don't know what they're talking about, and
yeah,
that's
these
what
are
I feel like.
professional
That's what I feel
debaters.
like this is. You got a professional in there and a bunch of people that don't really know much about anything. Imagine me going there; he'll destroy me.
I don't think that's,
I don't know what the hell I'm talking. I got no stats, bro.
I don't think that's always the case.
Google it. That's what I'm saying.
that's why I asked you, would you go up there?
I still do it though.
You see? He's one of these idiots.
I'll do it.
He's one
Nah,
of these
but
idiots.
to be fair, there's got, for example, I was watching one, that first one, the 25 Christians versus the one atheist,
Oh,
right?
I've never seen this one.
Like, that one's amazing, bro. That
He's
was the
good.
last-
This guy's see
Yo,
this.
he's
I don't know.
so
I've never
good.
seen this one, but I know that guy. I watched some of his videos.
But there's people on there that
He's
had good arguments.
see his nose. That's how you know he's going to hell.
Oh, God.
And he has sleep apnea.
That's how you know he's going to hell. 100%.
Can't breathe well at night.
All right, so when you were talking about Sam Cedar not liking this guy because, you know, nobody was giving him a good debate. Why
I
is it?
didn't watch it.
Oh.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I started.
This guy's a judger.
No. I started watching it and I was like, this not a good conversation at all. It's not good at all. I
so-
want like conversation, bro.
I want that too.
I don't want some
that too.
weak argument and him destroying it so easily. I'm
This
like,
is
that's
more
whack.
about.
But
let
to me, that made a point, though. That made a point for him going on there and being able to do that.
Yeah, but
because
that's
a
what
lot of
Charlie
the-
Kirk does. It feels all right.
True.
Fine. You got some kids
But
that
most
don't
of the-
talk about. It's so easy to destroy them.
But the thing with Charlie Kirk, for example, Charlie Kirk recently had one of those tours where he goes on the college tours, right? Let's be real.
That's how we got the Trump to win, by the way.
Let's be real, though. In
Trump
this,
paid him,
what, to do that? Of
To do
course. Of course.
and that's how they got all these people to
Of
vote
course.
for Trump. All these
Candace
young guys.
Owens. Come on, bro. I mean,
Charlie Kirk went to work for him.
He paid him to do these things.
Went to work.
bro, he went to work.
You are not.
Oh, this is another one too.
You are not fired.
What's that guy's name?
You see, so press pause here real quick. So there's a guy on
Mira que
here.
lindo.
I know.
There's a guy on here who kind of beats him in the debate, right? And then he goes to the college and he sees him debating all these people that don't really know what they're talking about, and he debates him at the college.
This guy?
No, it's not him. It's another guy.
I know what you're talking about.
That guy has a social media. A lot of these guys have social media, their own social media things.
Yeah.
Like he has a podcast.
Oh, this guy.
Both of them.
Yes,
Him.
yes, him.
Yeah, him.
So, bro, Charlie Kirk takes a video.
Wait, so let me just say this.
Go ahead.
He just kept talking over him, and I was like, that's not a debate, bro. He just kept talking over him. And I was
But
like,
he did
that's
make
why-
valid points that Charlie Kirk really couldn't defend.
Let's hear it.
We're gonna go volume.
Yeah,
So,
give us some-
so remember, somebody like Charlie Kirk, their profession is this, to debate. So a skill that he does, that he has, is to literally, how would you say, I guess, another way of saying filibuster, where it's kind of just like you're talking, but
Oh,
you're not
yeah,
really
yeah.
saying nothing,
Yeah.
but you're overpowering the conversation. So he's known for doing that.
Noel.
Charlie
That's Noel.
Kirk?
Charlie Kirk is known for doing that. I mean,
I feel like I've heard him say some good things.
I mean, no, he said, but
See,
then again,
so I don't find myself on either side. I like hearing both. And I'm like, oh, his idea is better on this aspect. But then if I hear a Democrat say something even better, I'm like, oh, that makes more sense.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm okay with
Gotcha.
that.
You're saying that Kirk is a talking bully.
he is a talking bully.
He's a talking.
He is a talking bully.
But
But you
this
know what?
nigga right here. Talking bully. He was bullying you all throughout the show. I got you, bro. Together we can fuck him up.
So I think his response, knowing that it was timed and that's his stick, is to be like, all right, I gotta get what I'm gonna say quick out. I gotta get it out quick, or else he's gonna try to overpower the conversation.
So like, look, like some of these people.
I'm not even a fan of this guy.
When I see some of these people, like I think it was this guy too. This Indian-looking guy. Some of them, like they have nothing for him, and I'm just like, why would you? Why would you even there? Why would you put on the show? I want Charlie Kirk to get.
That's why I asked the question. Would you go up? I wouldn't go up.
I'd go up. I'd be this guy.
No, but bro, I think everyone here has enough.
And then she shows up later on too.
She's good though.
Yeah.
She kills him.
Que linda.
Let's see. Let's see.
Let's hear this guy.
Let's hear this guy.
Get abortions where women shouldn't go to prison.
But it's not currently legal.
Okay, regardless.
Pedophilia
At that time, it wasn't.
No, I would not go back and retroactively enforce laws where things were currently not illegal.
You wouldn't put pedophiles in prison in the past.
Hold on a second. When was it illegal? When was it legal in America?
Well, child marriage was legal in America throughout the early 1900s, and especially throughout most of society for thousands of years, especially in the Old Testament and in the Bible. Right?
Well, hold on a second. So where is the Levitical law that allows you to marry a child?
Oh, yeah.
Can you name the verse?
Well, I can't name the verse, but the particular conditions that are enlisted in the Bible are that you have to be physical maturity and emotional maturity, which is extremely vague and throughout society has been seen to be met at puberty.
There is not a verse, but let's kind of go back.
Okay, so when is the age of consent under your view?
But let's go back to, generally agreed upon it's 18 years old. But let me ask you
because you don't go based on what's generally agreed, you go based on the Bible.
I say 18 years old, but let me ask you a question.
Where's that in the Bible?
When does life begin?
Conception.
Like conception, great. So good. So should we protect all life at conception?
I care about sentient life, not
sentient.
cellular
So
life.
when do brainwaves start?
You think brain dead people should be able to pull the plug on, like a family should be able to pull the plug on an individual in the family that's brain dead?
You got to answer the question. When do brainwaves start?
You can see brainwaves around 6 to 8 weeks, which in brain dead individual there are brainwaves as well. So the brainwaves necessary to produce a subjective experience are met until.
So this is what I was saying with the guy. He just talk over him. I'm like, go back and forth.
But he didn't answer his question. So it's just like he's trying not to let him escape from what he was trying to ask.
What they're doing is not listening to each other.
Yeah.
This is not a great...
No. Back and forth?
Exactly. But my point was, he went to Charlie Kirk's circle. You know what I'm saying? He went and faced them where it was all Charlie Kirk fans. They're all screaming. They're going nuts. And so Charlie Kirk posts a video and literally like edits the F out the video to try to make it seem like it wasn't something, like it was like a little 2-second thing. Meanwhile, so he posts the full context of the video. Like they were debating whether Elon Musk did a Nazi salute, right? In Charlie Kirk's version, he doesn't do it. He doesn't even broach the conversation, says, I'm not even going to debate you. But he shows the whole video and they actually debated. And in Charlie Kirk, you got to see what Charlie Kirk does. He does a salute that's nowhere near what Elon Musk. He did it more than once.
What did he do? How did he do it?
He goes.
Can you demonstrate it?
He goes like this.
Oh, that's a lot.
Elon Musk did not do that, bro.
Well, put your arm up again. Go like this.
I'm doing it the way Charlie Kirk did.
Look, it's my arm. Look at it.
Oh, wait, ready?
That's the other one. Put the other one up. Hey!
This is exactly why none of you should go up there. None of you should go up there and debate. For this reason right there. And Charlie Kirk got the crazy cunt Dracula forehead.
I know, he got that.
Wow.
Shave it, bro.
Holy shit.
Oh, man.
Make Trouble look good right
Yo,
now.
there was another dude, too, that I think...
that guy is good, bro.
I gotta watch this. I haven't heard this one yet.
Alex O'Connor, bro. I've been
Ben
watching
Shapiro
a lot of
does
his
do it.
stuff lately.
Oh, that she does it twice.
See, Ben Shapiro's I put Ben Shapiro and Kirk on two different levels. Ben Shapiro, very smart dude, bro. I mean, they're both smart. Don't get me wrong. But
You know
Ben
what's funny?
Shapiro is very.
I don't like Ben Shapiro.
Neither do I.
All right.
Neither do I.
I actually like
Wait,
Charlie
you
Kirk
feel
better.
safe now that he agrees with you?
No, I like.
All
I
right,
like Charlie
his
Kirk.
vagina got soft.
I like Charlie Kirk better than Ben Shapiro.
Why?
Because I feel like Ben Shapiro has an ideology that he'll change his thoughts on. Like he'll be like, hey, okay, so he's pro-Israel, so he'll defend killing Palestinians because he's pro-Israel instead of being like, no, we shouldn't kill anybody.
That's
You know?
why I don't like it, man.
Yeah.
I got.
So like,
I got both of you.
because he has an ideology, he kind of is like, oh, I think there should be no killing.
He's very
but because I
stern
support
on his-
Israel, you could kill them, and I don't like that.
There's not a lot of room.
You got to be
for-
like all across the board, be that guy.
But
You know?
what I like
I
about
think they
Ben
should
Shapiro.
both. I mean, me personally, they should both kill, but whatever.
Oh gosh, what I do like about Ben Shapiro is that he'll go and debate actual debaters, like people who do this,
Yeah.
and you can find good Ben Shapiro debates. I feel like you don't really find good debates with Charlie Kirk.
I got both of yous.
Uh-oh.
Bill Maher. That's my guy.
You should look up this guy.
Mr. Move the Goalposts.
Wesley
Mr.
Huff? You should look him up.
Mister, let me make a fool out of myself.
No,
Mister-
who?
He annoys me.
I'm with the wind.
Who?
Bill Burr.
Bill-
Bill Maher. Bill Maher.
Bill Maher? What's wrong?
Bill Burr is another disappointment.
Why? Why? Because he does not liking the man?
Yo, this guy supports freaking Elon. Was it a Nazi symbol or not? Fucking guy.
It was actually a salute, the Pledge of Allegiance, you idiots.
It was the Pledge of Allegiance.
What was the Pledge of Allegiance?
Well,
What
he did.
Elon did?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, that was a straight Nazi salute, bro. Come on.
No.
There's no way to spin that, bro. He did it more than once, too, bro. Come on.
See, this is what
Chest pound. But then also, so there's two things to it, bro, right? Like,
Ready
first
for
of
the
all,
Pledge of Allegiance?
you're
I
at
pledge allegiance to the flag. This is what your grandma was doing. And the United States of America and to the republic.
Ain't none of us in this room did that. We all did this. Stop lying. We all did this, bro.
No, but before Hitler, America.
Oh,
had-
before? Oh, God. I mean, listen.
Actually, during Hitler.
Yeah, but not Nazis.
1941.
Where did Nazis
Show
get?
us a picture, you freaking noob.
Where did Hitler get? I mean, where did the Nazis get a lot of their inspiration from?
Come on now. We do everything right.
They
Right?
copied
American
us.
slavery. Yeah. So
hate that.
it makes sense.
Look at the flag.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag.
It makes sense.
Of the-
So now it's okay.
Is that
No.
a better salute?
How
than
long
this?
ago was that? 1915, brother. That was.
I like this. I actually like this one better.
I like this one because it's like the heart, like, oh.
This feels like my arms getting tired.
See?
That's like when
For
you
the
go.
whole Pledge of Allegiance?
That's like when you go to church.
You know what's going to turn into, right?
Yeah. When you go to church, they be like, put your arm out
Hey,
and pray
but
for
you're
this
saving
person.
money. That's the workout that you get.
I never went to gym class. Stop it.
So let me ask y'all though, right?
America.
So the context of being you're at a presidential political rally, right? That's number one. Number two, there's also the aspect of his background with his grandfather and his family being a Nazis.
Was it proven fact?
Yes, bro.
Let's
Look it up.
Look it
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you know all this, bro. I mean, look, he says he has Asperger's.
Can you do it?
So maybe
He does. He definitely has. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. But
Let's see some of these other pictures.
So let me say this.
Outside?
Yeah.
put Elon's grandpa, bro. Let's put up Elon's grandpa.
I think that he did the Nazi salute. I don't think it was on purpose though.
Uh-huh.
Because when I'm driving down Manhattan, I see white people doing this all day long, and that's because they're hailing cabs, right? They're trying to get a cab. Hey, come here. Hey. I don't think that technically that's a Nazi salute, but I don't think that's the meaning behind
Again,
it.
you're at a political.
I think he
rally.
just has Asperger's. He was so excited. He's like, oh.
That could be true. That could be true. That could
The
be
other
true.
dude, I think he did on purpose, and I think he knew what he was doing. What's the name of that dude? The fat dude that went to jail. We showed the video one time because after he does it, he kind of gives everybody a look.
He's a politician.
Technically, yeah.
It was Trump's first.
Secretary of El Culo.
So
Cagado.
another person attached to Trump. Where's Elon's grandpa? His Nazi grandpa.
Oh, his grandparents.
Yeah, put Nazi grandpa there.
Oh, you know what I found out too? Elon. There was a lot of rumors saying Elon's dad owned emerald mines. Apparently, that was a lie. Because remember people saying, "Oh, he came from rich." Apparently, he didn't come from rich. He did sell emeralds, but in Africa, they don't cost a lot of money. Like they're just regular. It's not until you leave Africa where it gets more expensive.
Is that his grandpa?
Heidman.
Go back one.
But which one? He has four.
Look, what's this?
He has four sets.
One
of
day
grandpas.
ago. One day ago.
Somebody edited Democracy Now.
Democracy Now. It's already biased.
Got him.
Oh, no, but if there's facts, then we could verify those facts.
Let's see.
That's true.
Oh, look at that! Right, what was that bottom one? All right.
Apartheid and neo-Nazi movements.
You know, I could be bugging.
Would you deport them?
Who?
If they supported neo-Nazis and there wasn't a green card?
I mean, let's go in the Trump's rule. Get him out. Get him
out! We got agreements here. You support terrorist organization.
The excitement.
There's nothing like the system turning back on you.
Get him out. I would deport his dad too.
Oh man.
Why not? Get him out. He's a Nazi supporter, sympathizer.
Nothing there. Scroll.
Are Nazis considered terrorists in America? I don't think they are.
I mean, KKK is allowed to be out here. They have.
Yeah, but they're not considered a terrorist organization, right?
That's. Yet they terrorize. Interesting. If they're not, that's crazy.
They don't. How many? I don't know. I guess they definitely do acts of violence, right? But in modern times, they don't. What do they do? Nothing. They just talk crap.
Well, we don't.
I don't even know if they
we don't know what they do.
I don't even know if they burn crosses anymore.
Sundown towns again. We don't know what they do when the
That's
lights go off and you're walking out there. You might get punched in the face.
Are Nazi terrorists, neo-Nazi militants, and terrorism? These remarks, more recent German studies have attempted. Hey, no, this is in America. Get out of here.
Okay.
Right-wing extremism. That's another thing too. I don't like. If you get to the point where you have to do violence, then you have no points. Your points.
What else?
That's like a child, like making ruckus. If you had, that's why I think there should be freedom to say whatever you want. We should have debates on the ideas, and the average person will be like, "Oh yeah, he's smart or he's dumb," and I choose to be with this guy. I think when you start doing violence, now you're forcing everybody like scared. There's people that can't fight, like some people.
That would be me.
Like I'm just gonna do whatever you guys agree on.
No, I'm just gonna sit over here. You guys enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna look because I don't like watching.
You don't think
Because think about it. If you're a Tesla owner and like you're a liberal and you bought a Tesla because you want to save America, you want to save the world, all of a sudden now they're burning Teslas. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get this. Whatever. Let people have the freedom. Like let them agree with your ideas. Not like he's got scared. I gotta sell it. It should be like, no, I don't support him and I'm gonna sell it. Not I'm forced to sell it because I'm scared.
Or I don't support him, but I like my car.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like think about it again. And this makes me think: are you driven politically, or what drives you really? Because I thought you were environmentalist.
I am.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not you.
Oh, I thought you
saying. If you're an environmentalist, you should be like, all right, this is an electric vehicle. It's better for the environment, regardless of what Elon says. I'll run this car into the ground.
We got idiots, bro.
And then I'll get the next what is it? A Hyundai electric vehicle after. Oh, I'll sell this one and get a Hyundai electric vehicle. Like if you're really don't sell it and buy a freaking Civic and be like, all right, back to gas. Now I don't. Is it really about
live your
truth? Are you an environmentalist or not? Or are you letting your political ideology drive you? That's the same reason why I don't like Ben Shapiro, because he lets his political ideology kind of twist the way he thinks.
But even if you do think that, and you want to let your morals,
I'm about
stay
the
clear.
environment. I'm just not with the Nazi version of the environment.
Hence, you have.
So I got a
options.
Toyota.
Yeah, go get their electric car.
Yeah.
Well, Toyota's what, Japanese?
Ford makes electric.
Well, is Toyota Japanese? Yes or no?
Toyota is Japanese,
right?
Yeah.
Also, they fought with the Nazis, right? They without access power, right? So that's who you support. That's your real ideology.
Well, I'm not saying me. I would do worse. I'll get a Golf directly.
That's a VW. It's even worse.
This is
his face lit up like you Nazi.
That's directly from the man himself.
Damn, bro.
That's crazy.
What do you think about these? Do you think his economic plan, tariffs, cutting, the budgeting, do you really think at the end of the day it's going to affect your wallet?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
In a negative way?
Yes.
Noel?
Yeah.
In a negative way?
100%.
Now, long term,
I was watching a video of an economist explaining what's going on. He's like, he's not doing economic policy for the next year or 2 years.
Right.
He's doing economic policy to affect America for the next 10, 15 years.
Okay. He only has 4 years.
Yeah.
So we could only work within that frame.
Yeah. But
remember this conversation last time? What I said?
But the guy was saying, he goes,
unless he goes all Nazi on
his policies are going to affect America for the next 10 years. So for the next 2 or 3 years, you're not going to see any changes.
Because in the stroke of a pen,
negative changes. We're going to see negative changes.
Negative now,
yes.
Supposedly positive
later.
Yeah, but stop. He only has 4 years. The next guy could just write off and erase everything he did.
That's the problem.
So forget about that. We only have the 4 years.
Unless we get another right winger in there.
Do you know that there's a congressman in Trump world that actually is trying to pass a bill to make Trump stay longer than 4 years?
And I hope he wins.
And then
what?
So you want Trump? What happened to the 4 years? Argument you just said.
No, it wasn't my argument. All I said that currently right now, under the Constitution, under the system that we have in play, this bitch only got 4 years left.
Well, but they also
let me ask a question, you fucking bully.
I want to filibuster.
You fuck. No. Only in the framework of what we have right now, in the next 4 years, is it going to impact your wallet in a good or a bad way? 4 years.
What do you mean by that?
his changes.
Did his
policy
first
changes.
did his first 4 years do anything positive for people?
I don't think it did anything.
didn't do shit. So is it fair to say that
because he was hiring politicians? Remember, he was like, I was trying to play the game. The game is no good.
Fair.
That's fair. So
But this time around, he's like, I'm doing businessman because I can't.
So will it impact your wallet in a positive or negative way? 4 years.
Negative.
I
agree. Negative.
I also think it's always going to be.
Even though eggs price came down,
it did.
It actually lower than it was before he became president.
What are you talking about?
Egg prices.
Huevos?
Stop it.
Yeah.
It did.
Stop it, bro.
Look it up.
Look, come on, bro. That's what depends on the state you're talking about because my eggs are still expensive as hell, bro.
New York has egg farms.
This is not that kind of show.
Yeah, but so Trump is saying, if you buy an American vehicle, we talked about this earlier, he's going to give you a tax break. So that idea means that what he's trying to do is get manufacturing in America. So you build the car in America, you pay American workers, then you buy American, and we'll give you a tax break. He's trying to keep the money here. That's not going to affect everybody in the next 2 years, 3 years. When's the next time you plan on buying a car? It may be a while. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of these things are going to take a while to take effect, really. And, so many people got to do it to make it worth.
So you don't think it's kind of a little bit going to be like the first time around where the upper echelon benefited the most?
But the upper echelon always benefit.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. That's the problem because now we're moving away. I mean, look, again, whether we're in a democracy, that's debatable, right? Whatever image of it we currently have right now, we're currently in the midst of moving towards an oligarchy, right? So, I mean,
I think we're already in one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that, right? You could be a billionaire, go buy up the media, go buy up politicians, and then, create laws.
I don't see how. I think that after the 4 years, I'm going with the 4 years, right?
Uh-huh.
After the 4 years, if he doesn't, he won't, right? Currently, under the laws and the statutes, whatever, he's gone. The 4th year, right? Gone, and then you'll start seeing some kind of positive. But then the new person, if it's not, his son or his protege,
or the other party takes over, start over.
Either they'll get rid of it or they'll take credit for the good stuff that's happening. Because that's always what happens.
But they'll get rid of it.
They'll be like, whatever the last guy did is fake.
It's fake.
I did it.
Yeah.
See, but I think it's a combination of the fact that we don't necessarily think that there'll be any real positive change financially for the economy, but also the fact that the removing of those guardrails for a lot of programs, I think that combination of both things happening at the same time, I think it's going to be a bad look.
What do you mean? Like to get rid
just
of
like our economy. I mean, just like our economy not doing good in the 4 years. I'm talking about by the end of the 4 years. After 4 years comes and whether he stays or goes, whatever happens. I think by that we're not going to see any positive based off of the things that he's doing now.
We're not going to pocket anything.
Correct. And then on top of the fact that people are going to see the stuff that was removed, there's gonna be a window of millions of Americans who are hurt.
Shut up, Bernie.
Yo, but I mean, it's hurting people. You can't say it's not hurting people. Like if there's people afraid to go to school, if there's people who
why are they scared to go to school?
Immigrants.
Get them out.
That whole situation.
What about the people that have Teslas? They're scared to drive the Tesla.
But that's idiots. So I'm not defending that.
How are they idiots? They wanted to save
the
planet.
people burning.
No, the people burning.
Those are idiots.
Or for example, if this continues, what we're seeing now with the protesters, if somehow within the next 4 years there's a limit, they start limiting our ability to have real free speech on the street to go out there and protest. If they really police that to a point where it's kind of like where in Israel, like they can go to your house and literally arrest you for posting something that is against Israel.
They don't have the Constitution like we have.
No, I'm just saying, it could get to that though. I mean, look, right now
that's a reach because
I'm gonna tell you why that's a reach.
It's the reason the Second Amendment.
I'm gonna tell you why that's a reach. People are burning shit down to get their message, and just now there's real accountability.
They arrested like 1 or 2 people.
But what is that accountability looking like? What just happened?
They're just arresting them.
Yeah, I mean,
you committed vandalism.
That's it. You
can
say whatever you want.
I'm talking about, for example, I'm talking about building on what they're doing now, like with the girl that we all saw get pulled into the vehicle. What if we start seeing more and more of that, and all of a sudden, it's not just
it's
not getting deported. You're a legal citizen, but we're just going to arrest you.
Well, I think that there's reasons. They have to have a reason to arrest you.
I mean,
That's why I'm saying the system is listen, whether you agree with it or not, it doesn't change the fact that the system that was designed by a bunch of fucking kids, basically, niggas were in their 20s when they designed and built the Constitution. They had to fight their way through the masses to get this shit fucking approved because there were other interest groups trying to destroy this thing from happening.
Yeah.
And for them to fathom this system that's working, I think it's us that destroys it because we're uneducated, ill-advised. We're all in our social groups, in our social little bubbles, and we're not willing to sit down, even though you might not like it. But that whole circle conversation, this dialogue, I think it's because of this that we survive it. Listen, the system is built. You have laws and you have rights, and you exercise those laws and rights. Now, if it gets to the point where people are getting plucked from the street like chickens, and they're getting freaking...
That's where I'm fearful of it possibly going to.
You would be fearful. I would be fearful. Let's be real.
Yeah, like we're gonna be able to have this conversation
from your wife that she got picked up in the middle of the street for no reason. You're gonna wild the fuck out, bro. Yeah. It doesn't matter who you are, but guess what? There are laws.
You're confident in the guardrails that protect those rights for us.
They're there for a reason. So if we don't exercise it, then that's on me.
That's true. So let me ask you guys a question. Like when you see the courts right now, whether they're demanding certain things from the presidency or from his cabinet, and it's not just the president saying, well, no, I'm not participating. I'm not giving you what you want. Now you have people in his cabinet who are taking that same stance where it's just like the courts are telling you you're being mandated to, whether it's appear or to give these documents and you're refusing to do it, citing executive privilege. Which now, because of Schumer and that dumb shit he did, he gave even more executive privileges to the president. So, like, what does that mean for the future? You know what I'm saying? Like, those guardrails in terms of what is the executive branch, all the branches of government where they kind of overlooked each other. Where now it's just like you're really making the executive, where it's just he's being able to control all houses of or forms of the government.
But there are systems in play. If we don't exercise those systems, then that's on you. That's not to say that the system is broken. That's just to say that you're not utilizing it under the God-given country rights constitution that we were given. I'll give you a short example. This just came out in the news recently where New York department chief is accused of turning the department into an animal house. The minute he became a supervisor, this is allegedly, right? His subordinates that he was in charge of are suing him because he started wilding out, allegedly, the minute he got his promotion. You don't think this was going on for years? This is the first time that the officers are saying, nah, we're going to get together and we're going to use our rights and sue this guy and hold this guy accountable. So
that guy's argument is going to be like, well, this was happening. Guys were being able to do whatever they want before. So now I'm coming in. Like, what's the argument?
What I'm saying is that there were these laws to protect employees, to protect your civil rights. These officers, for whatever reason, I'm sure this has happened before. They just didn't say anything. Call it cultural, the culture, the environment, whatever it may be. What I'm saying is that the system is here, though, to protect every individual, we the people. But if you're not exercising it, don't blame the system. That's on you. Yeah. That's your fault. These cops are now standing up for it and we're like, nah, this guy's wilding out. We want to hold him accountable. It's the same thing with the rioters. Riot all you want, but if you're going to go and destroy a whole Tesla.
Protest all you want.
Protest. Hey, see? Protest. But if you're going to riot and destroy property, you fucking want to find out. You're going to hold yourself accountable. But that should also be true to ISIS. You know what I mean? I don't agree that they were rolling up in masks. I think it should be a law, if it's not already, that you're supposed to identify yourself. I'm a fucking cop. I'm an authority. But they did.
You watched the video?
Yeah, they did, right? They pulled out their badges. Yeah. You know what I mean?
One of them had the badge on his
You know what I mean? So, I think there's a system in play, and I think we need to hold the people to that system instead of just crying out, injustice. There is no injustice if they're following the rules. And if they're not following the rules...
then it has its consequences to it, because we have rules to the game.
But what if they are following the rules and it's happening? Again, we'll see the consequences.
What if it is? What is what?
What if they are following the rules?
And it's happening.
meaning they're just getting pulled off the street and
if they're following the rules,
Yeah.
then they
That's the
they
game.
must have did
That's
something
the game
wrong.
we played. Look up April 5th protests.
April.
Did you hear about this?
what is it? What was it?
So allegedly, on April 5th, a nationwide protest is going to take over. So every state in the country is going to have a protest.
Oh, in each
protesting-
county, in each capital or
Capital,
whatever?
something like that. And they're going to protest Elon Musk and Donald Trump on April 5th. Global protest. Excuse me.
Yeah,
so,
they upped it
so
up.
do you
buddy.
think he should be able to stop this?
No.
Do you think he should be able to stop this?
A protest? No.
No.
No, of course not. No.
And that's our right to protest.
Yeah, that's the First Amendment.
So did I tell you my brother-in-law, right? It's my brother. I'm going to say that. He went on a tour during the Black Lives Matter protests, and he's fairly conservative Republican, and I'm not even gonna say Republican, but he's more very conservative.
Smart man.
And but he had his views on what was happening with the Black Lives Matter. And He didn't agree with it, right? Initially,
I didn't either. I marched in one of the protests.
really.
I marched in two of them actually.
I didn't want.
Yeah, I marched like in a couple of them too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he didn't agree with it, but he wanted to kind of get into journalism. So he went out there, camera, microphone, and he was doing the tour with them, bro. Like he went from where did it start? I think it was Minnesota or something like that. Like the
Oh, damn! I forgot where.
I forgot what state it was.
George Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but he kind of went to every state from there back to New York, and then even further out, whatever. And he would call me, bro. Some nights he'd be like, "Yo, it was a peaceful protest. You know, like I was just asking questions, and cops just came and grabbed us and threw us." Or he was like, "No." He said something about how he saw them making it, like turning a peaceful protest into a situation that could become violent.
Yeah.
Like they were like forcing the situation, pushing people in a certain direction, putting people in a certain way.
And black people can't resist.
Oh
Right?
gosh! Well, he's white, bro. He's Italian and Irish. So,
No, but as soon as the
but
cops
even
show up
he, but by the end of it, even he was.
as
just
soon as
like,
the cops are like, "Excuse me, sir, you can't go there," black people are like, "You can't tell me what to do. These are my rights." Like, sir, just excuse me, you cannot go there, sir.
But he got caught up in it. And even that, like, he had to admit that it was just like, yo, bro, like that was wild to see them be able to do that. So even with something like this, I'm pretty sure for the most part, majority, it will be peaceful across the United States. But there's going to be situations that get wild out, bro. And it, unfortunately, it's going to make it look bad for,
And you know what's going to happen?
for the rest of it.
People are going to protect their property, and it's going to get violent.
And Trump will be like, I'll free you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you're protecting your property, then
It's a different story, yeah.
There's a rule.
But
there's rules of the game.
listen, if you have,
That's
you
why
also
this-
have those guys.
That's
who-
why this kid got away. What's his name? The kid that shot the three.
Rittenhouse.
That's why he got
Which
away.
I still don't agree with. I think that was that was a biased court. If you,
I mean, I don't know. I watched the video.
did you see? Yeah, but did you see the court hearings?
No, I don't. Oh,
Well, there was that was
That's the
that
only
too.
part I remember. That's the only part I watched.
I was like, bro, take it easy. Just say
Again,
you shot them, bro. Take it
that's
easy.
a decision made not by the government. That was a decision made by the people. You
Well,
can't.
the court, that judge was wilding during that court case.
So
bro.
you know, remember Mike? I don't know if you remember. I showed the video to Mike of the Conway House. He was like, "Nah, he killed." Remember, we have it on the podcast. He was like, "Nah, he went out there. He wanted to kill black people. He actually used the N word." And I was like, "Mike, none of the people that got shot were black. Take it easy. Take it easy."
I don't think.
Everybody involved was white.
I think that's the mother's fault.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, she should have slept with a black man. Are you saying?
yeah, absolutely.
He should have been half black.
half.
Yeah. Then he would have killed more people.
He shouldn't have been there, bro. He shouldn't have been there. The mom shouldn't have taken him over there.
Yeah. No, you're right. The mom shouldn't have brought him there. But it's his right to do it, to be there. That's the
is.
problem.
You can't. You
And
can't.
that's
Imagine
what-
what's going to happen here. With
And
this,
that's
with
what they
this
say
stuff.
with mass shooters. You ever hear that? Oh, they was on FBI's radar. You ever heard that term?
Yeah, but what do you
Where that was somebody like when they shot President Trump, the guy that shot. They were like, oh, he was. The FBI came out. I was like, yeah, he was on our radar. But what happens is he didn't break any rules, so we can't arrest him. But we're gonna watch him because he looks a little funny, like he's doing weird things.
Hence why there should be gun laws that are common sense. But
I know. Let everybody have them already. Trump should have been up there with
Everybody.
Just talking
Everybody
like this,
should
like,
have
Yo, what up?
And what we're
all
gonna
these.
do-
Everybody, bring your guns.
Gosh.
But think about it, like
Imagine how January 6th would have ended up if he said that.
I mean, think about it. January 6th, all of them support the Second Amendment. Not one person showed up with a gun. That's a little funny.
Yeah, but they beat some cops up.
That's
Some cops up.
That's a little interesting.
Wait, they
Beat some
all
cops
love the guns, but
And
no one
nobody
showed
showed
up
up.
with a gun.
So was it really an insurrection, or was it just people wilding out in the moment of freaking ecstasy?
I mean, breaking into the building, getting on the chair.
They didn't break in. Remember, they
were
let them in.
walking in.
They were like, "Come on in."
Well, that was
And
not
they-
all the officers. That
they
was some
were-
of the officers. Those were the chump officers.
Remember, there was people screaming at the cops, "You can't let this happen! Arrest these people! Stop them!" And the cops were like,
What about the politicians who were like giving tours to
"Politicians, yeah."
Yeah. giving
What about
January
remember
6th.
Nancy Pelosi was like, remember when she was driving away? She was like, "This is my fault. I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to do that, and I didn't do it." You ever seen the video?
No.
Bring it up. There's a video of Nancy Pelosi in a limo, I think, leaving
Leaving? Saying
because
she should've did more?
supposedly the Trump administration or somebody told them, "Hey, you need to have what's the name of the cops that go there? This, not the state police, the National Guard."
Okay, yeah.
And she's like, "No." She didn't want to put the National Guard there. So then while it was happening, she was like, "I should have did it." There's a video of her in a limo talking to somebody.
But is that really saying much? I mean, she could just be remorseful.
Yeah.
You could point to a conspiracy.
I think what happened, and I think what happened was people got raptured in the moment. One person was started shaking the gate. The other was like, "I'm gonna do it too."
An agitator.
But
Yeah.
But what we
And who's the agitator?
that's the
That's the
part.
conspiracy.
so
And
with-
there's a famous photo that we did a podcast of with two of them, and with this photo of what one of the, to me, is an agitator. He wasn't there for the.
we know his name actually too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy he's rolling up with like gear.
Oh,
he has
yeah,
the
yeah.
phone in his chest recording, and then he has zip ties. Who goes to a protest with zip ties?
I do.
yeah, but what makes you think the agitator was what, political leaning, or are you just saying in general that there's crazy people out there?
No, there's people that incite, that get into a protest.
That's true. That's true. And
they
it happens on the
incite
left. It happens on the
both
left.
sides,
Of course.
both sides, and
course.
those are the people that I think that are hired by the government leaders.
That's true. That's true.
And we just never know because we can't prove it. They're paid.
But let me ask you a question. What do you think would have happened if it was BLM and they crossed that line? Would they have even been allowed to be that close?
Oh, the consequences?
Yeah.
Well, let's be real.
Would they have gotten shot?
The only
before they
person
even-
that got shot was one of the protesters in
Yeah.
January 6th.
Yes.
That's the only person that died.
Well,
Yeah. That's actually a
The
fact. We looked this
only
up too.
person that died. The only person that died was the person protesting.
so cops getting beat up was fine.
Oh no, I'm not saying that
Okay.
it's fine. I just, let's be real about who died, because then
Did she deserve it?
did she deserve to? Absolutely not.
What?
I don't know.
I don't
Yo,
If the police draw a line, they're like, "Do not pass this line."
think- do you
with a
deserve-
gun in his hand,
With-
pointing at you.
Did she have a gun?
She crossed the line though.
Did she have a weapon?
She crossed the line.
I don't know.
If what do you mean, bro?
There's consequences.
So what about
what
about the people in their house?
There's consequences to breaking the law.
Uh-huh.
But the law, that officer does not have the jurisdiction to take your life. You broke a crime.
What's the officer's
You
job?
broke.
What was his job?
His job was, you do not pass the line.
Uh-huh.
I don't get to decide if you die. The only time I get to
But
decide.
cops make that decision every day.
Only time that cop had the
Only
right
for
to
black
decide. Only for black people. The only time that cop, in my opinion, had the right to decide that person's life, if that person was threatening to kill or harm. He had to make a judgment call. Is this person going to kill me? Is he going to kill somebody else?
What makes you think that he wasn't thinking that?
I'm not saying he was or he wasn't. What I'm saying is that.
But there goes the judgment call you're talking
What
about.
I'm saying is that based on what she had on her, she wasn't threatening at all.
So
In
yeah,
my
but you're looking
You
at it.
gotta
I think
define what's a threat.
yeah,
threat.
exactly. So I think
So what's a threat?
The threat was her getting in, allowing other people to get in. So it was just like it was a riot. So one person, his life he had to feel threatened. These people are trying to get into this place that he's telling them not to because I have a gun pointed at you. You cannot come in here. And she breaks through. How does he know that that's not room for the next person to come right behind her? And
So he was
know?
good for killing her.
yes, absolutely. Justified. I think he was totally justified.
And what about in the Black Lives Matter when they're rioting and they're destroying things?
What about him?
And they're breaking into businesses. Do the cops have the right to kill them too?
To kill them? I mean,
If they
I
broke
don't-
it,
if you break in
if you break in this door, I have the right to kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
They're defending the property, so
Yeah.
I get that.
And
I
that's
get
just your
that.
property. It's your life.
No,
Especially with that kid.
They don't know
remember?
what's gonna happen.
They were trying to take the gun away from the kid, so he was like, "Shoot."
That's a different story.
Especially
That's a
that
different
one
story.
guy took his gun.
That's
out on
not
the
a
kid,
cop. That's
and
the kid.
shot him.
What about here in New York? The two ladies, I think it was two ladies, that threw Molotovs at the police vehicles.
Wow,
They gotta get shot.
she should have shot him.
Should've shot
Should have shot her.
Black or white? I'll tell you right now. I'll change my answer. It depends what you're about to say.
White.
I don't know. Maybe a warning will be fine. All right. Well, let's hear what Nancy Pelosi got to say.
No, but I feel responsible. I mean, we asked them. They put out a piece of paper saying, you know, go through the tunnel, don't go outside. They say they got stuff, but they can't tell us what it is. It's too prepared. They want the other side to know. We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff.
The guy in the front?
That
No seatbelt.
should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient
No,
resources.
there's not a question of how they don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more, because it's stupid that we should be in a situation like this. Because they thought they had what? They thought these people would act civilized? They thought these people gave a damn? What is it that is missing
Yeah, I don't know if there's a
here?
conspiracy with that.
Why are they recording her? Right?
Probably
No, it
probably
seems
part
so
of the.
movie-like.
Yeah. Why is that person like, oh, this is a good time for me to record?
Make
this
sure,
chick?"
or she probably
When
said,
isn't
make sure
a
you
good
start
time?
recording me now so I could talk and
Yeah.
you know say my piece.
And let me put my mask on. Not my African mask too.
Did you ever see that video?
Wakanda?
Have you seen that video?
What?
It's so embarrassing.
What is
When
it?
they all worked out. They all worked out with the African thing, and they did one of these on their knees.
Oh gosh.
It's so embarrassing. I hate stuff like that, man. Just be who you are. I support black people. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I'm Puerto Rican. I do my own thing.
Yeah, we have our
pandering.
own. We have to go
I
get.
got, I got a frog in it. That
What
climbs a
about
tree
the-
and doesn't shut up?
Politicians wearing the band-aids.
Just like Puerto Ricans. just doesn't shut up.
Politicians wearing the band-aids on the ear.
That's another one. That's another one that it's like cult like behavior, isn't that?
I
not?
think I
It
agree.
is.
Did you ever see the video that till this day there's a conspiracy saying that what's Lauren Boebert? No, not Boebert. What's the other one? The dog face. What's her name?
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
No. What's her name? Blondie. That she hates AOC. What's her
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Damn, what's her name?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh God, 3 toes.
Oh, 3 toes. What?
I forgot about that. That was a conspiracy on the loose.
She has 3 toes.
She had 3 toes. She was like a teenage mutant, like a turtle. It was just a bad image.
We debunked that, but still, it's interesting. We're like, no way, that's gonna be real. That's so funny.
That was something you
I
guys
gotta tell you,
discovered, or like
No, it's
They
supposed to be
got
a
me.
conspiracy out there in the field.
Yeah, that she was diabetic. She had to lose some toes. She walking, there's a photo of her shit
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. 3 toes.
And that's where they got it from, but then kind of find out it was just a bad photo.
It's just a
yo, bro.
photo.
So there's a conspiracy theory that we'll never get to the bottom of because they don't know who the person is. The White
Yeah.
House, the I think it was the day before the January 6th or something like that. They were or with the bomb. They were trying to plant the bomb and it didn't explode or something like that.
No way.
They swear that it was empty, like it was Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That she planted a bomb?
That she was that person that was masked because it kind of looked like a female. Yo, bro,
That's
she does
crazy.
crazy things.
She's not that smart though.
Honestly, the both of
Bro,
them.
but she's done crazy
Between
things.
the both of them, they don't have an IQ. Between
They
them.
don't have the. She's crazy, but she just doesn't have the IQ for shit like that.
Well, that's why the bomb didn't go off. So it makes sense.
In that case, I guess the conspiracy could fit. You know.
Yo, bro, like I don't know, but it was a female, and it just I don't know. It kind of makes sense a little bit. They share the same mannerisms.
It's funny because you said that the front officer agent didn't have the seatbelt on in the beginning, but as you hear the wheels squealing, you see her like, fuck, oh shit, hold up. This shit got real. This is my job.
You know what's funny? I'm looking at the windows. I'm like, is that extra thick? She has the same bulletproof. She must have it, right?
Got
Hell
to.
yeah.
Is
Like,
it-
you're not
part
going to
of
be
it,
able
yeah.
to tell from from either side.
She's like, it's our fault. Wait, hold on. Let me say this too, right? If the Capitol Police are charged to defend these people and they breach the Capitol, Other people are coming in. They want to attack
another
these people
aspect.
behind you. And as a cop, you're like, look, we've come back and we let you come in the building. This is as far back as you're going. If you pass that line, you're going down.
Pop them.
And that's why I think when she went through that window, she probably did this. She was like, look, I'm going to go through first. After I go through, we all charge. So
he could have been thinking that. He could have been thinking that.
So she went through, she got popped, and everybody's like, oh, I didn't know this was happening.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
Actually, this was a mistake.
Let's see what's down this hole.
Yeah, it looked like that,
Yeah,
though, right?
it
It
did.
honestly looked like that.
It really
Everybody's
did.
vibe just changed.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Like, that was a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, it's horrible she got shot, but that could have been us, bro.
So I think she actually asked for it.
She got what she
I
deserved.
agree.
I think she asked for it. Yeah.
I agree.
All of them.
I gotta be consistent. If I think that Kyle Rittenhouse shot those people in self-defense, then I also have to agree that they shot her in self-defense as well. Because it just has to be. You watch the video, and you watch the way that they attacked the kid. He didn't shoot. Remember, he shot the first guy. I don't know if you watched the whole video. He didn't shoot the first guy. He
It was
ran-
self-defense, but it was tragic because he shouldn't have been there.
He shouldn't have been there. I agree with that too. But when you're in the moment, what are you gonna do?
Should
You have a gun in your hand and somebody's coming at you.
You know. But if you do have a gun in your hand, they're attacking. They're grabbing your gun. I mean, that's why we kind of talked about this with cops. Cops have a 5-step rule. You ever heard of this 5-step rule? If you're within 5 steps of me,
Okay.
I have to touch my gun. If you're within 5 steps of me, because for you to take those 5 steps takes too long for me to do this.
That's crazy.
So you have to start here.
What about the ones that just come up to the car, knocking on the window with the gun?
They're supposed to have it on their hand. They're supposed to have their hand on the hip when they do that. Technically,
Oh man, I got stopped the other day.
yeah. And if you're black,
Yeah, the
it's like-
gun.
Oh hell no!
I got pulled over last Thursday.
I got pulled over the other day.
Good experience.
It's great.
Honestly, I always have good experience. I never complain.
Now he knows how to use his privileges. Idiot.
I got pulled over, and they're just like, well, first of all, do you lower the windows, put the light on, you do the keys and thing? I do that whole situation.
What do you do?
Before I turn the car off, I put my thing on, I lower all my windows. Then when I turn my car off, I put my keys on top of the hood. And then I grab the wheel. So the cop knows, all right, he's not going to run away from me.
So mine is I lower all the windows, I turn on all the lights, I open the glove, and I take my hand, put both my hands out the window. So as they're approaching, they see my hands at all times. The minute they come in, they come up to the thing. The atmosphere is like,
Yes, exactly. Because
that tension is flat.
I've gotten pulled over before I did that, and they're on ready. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Same.
But when I do that now, they're kind of like, hey, what's going on? Like, where you going? Where
What's
you been?
going on?
Yeah.
I just peel out.
Yeah, let's go. That's what I'm
Don't
talking
follow
about.
this guy. We do not support him here.
I don't support the police.
It removes the tension, and all my PBR,
That makes sense.
all my privileges are mad old, you know, and some of them don't have the phone numbers and whatnot. So I was just like, listen, man, you can give me a break. I definitely did this wrong. I definitely was wrong in this, but if you can help me out, and he was like, hold on a second, because he was like, let me get all the information. So once I gave him the cards. He didn't want the insurance. He didn't want the registration. He was like, hold on. So he went to go do a background check on me.
Yeah, you gotta do it, yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
do that to stop. I gotta see if this guy is not freaking there's warrants off of this guy. So when he comes back, he was like, I'm doing you a big favor. Cause it was like this thick, the amount of cards I had. He was like, I'm doing you a big favor because most of these are expired. I was like, listen, I had a lot of friends, family members. Some of them are still active. But, you know, I obviously made a mistake. He was like, I'm going to let you go. You know.
So the last time they pulled me over, they didn't run anything. Because I had a sanitation sweater on at the time. He walked off. He goes, where you going? Like, he goes, you going home? And I looked at him. I was like, I'm going to work. And I had the sweater on. He's like, all right, have a good day.
Yeah.
I wasn't
That's
gonna
why
say
he-
it,
It's
but
discretion at
similar
the end of the day.
situations. Similar situations.
And one of the ladies told me, she's like, I have a camera.
Yeah,
So there's a certain way I have to talk to you, certain things I got to do. So I think once they say certain words, they got to continue with the
She
process.
said that to you?
Yeah, one of the
Oh,
cops
wow.
told me. Actually, I went to the precinct one time for something. The cop was like, look, do this, you be good.
Yeah, it's done.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I had a guy go like this.
yeah, that's how they start.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm
he was-
joking.
Oh shit, that's why you peeled out.
He's about to shoot me. He's going to get away with it, too. He's covering it.
Right? You can't. You can't. It's your word against his.
That reminds
I
me
mean,
of
look-
remember the lady that got shot with the pot?
Oh,
With the what?
the old lady. That's our age.
She wasn't old.
That's our age. What?
Remember they shot her because she threw a pot of water at the guy?
Oh yeah. That was
That's
crazy.
another one. We did like
That
a
was
breakdown.
crazy.
I remember watching it live in the smoke. I was like, she did throw it.
I know. I was dying. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, no.
The horrible part was calling an old lady. That when we saw her age, we're like, wait, she's our age.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Fuck.
But it's funny, though, because in the video, when the cop walks out, when all the other cops show up, you remember that part? When he walks out, the other cops they don't want to look at his face. And
they
you can
do.
tell he has the camera, and he's walking towards another cop, and the other cops are like, they don't want to look at him.
Wow.
because they know what he did was wrong,
Oh my goodness.
or they think what he did was wrong. Technically,
They didn't want to take a chance. They didn't want to take a chance. Like, I ain't taking a chance.
Technically, she threw the pot.
Look, bro.
But I wouldn't have shot her for that.
Not in the face, too.
Yo, but
I wouldn't have shot her at all.
what? What? She throwing a hot pot on you though, bro.
But even if she
That's
threw the hot
crazy.
pot at me, it's not like
scars for life.
it's not going to incapacitate me.
Your face, your lip.
I know, but still, I don't think I would have shot her. I think I would have beat the crap out of her.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
she would have lived
still
another
alive.
I would've
day.
cheated my
She
gun like
would have
a
went to
ninja star.
jail. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
I might have been able to sue her
I
or
don't
you know
know.
get disability for a long time or whatever.
I'm of the mindset that
But she crossed the line.
She did cross that.
She did
line.
cross the line though. But I think most cops are good people. But I do have my view on the system itself. You know, and I think I'm actually of the mindset that no matter how good of a person you are, you might just get caught up in that system.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know,
That system is
Sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes you're innocent and you get caught up in the system and you're screwed for life.
I think that happens to a lot of politicians too. I won't be surprised. You know,
What do you mean? Like they get caught up in the system?
they get caught up in the system, whether it's the character assassination. I mean, look, there's certain people that don't care and they'll fight the establishment no matter what. But,
Trump,
Bernie.
well,
Bernie.
That's what they
Trump's
have
not
in
a
common.
politician, so I'm not gonna say Trump.
Oh, he gets passed.
Okay.
Who?
Cool.
Trump?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? When Trump first ran, that's what people liked about both of them. They were like they're against the system. Remember, I don't know if you ever seen the thing with AOC where she asked the people. She said, "If you voted for me and Trump, why? Why did you vote for both of us?" And all of the answers was like, "Because you guys both rage against the system." And they were like, "We like that. We don't like the system." And I think Trump heard that loud and clear. He's like, "Oh,
I think
let's get Doge and let's tear the system down."
I think she should be the next president. That's my
I
opinion.
think she will be.
She might actually be.
She will
The
be.
only thing that I see stopping that from happening is her own party. Like she just tried to
Like
get a
what they did
leadership.
to Bernie.
Well, like what they did to her. She just tried to get a leadership a few months ago, and they
Or-
put that old guy that nobody even fucking knows.
Or-
Put her right in front of her, even though everybody was like, "Oh, she's gonna get this."
Or Trump does
Change his
actually
rules.
brings money to people's wallets and balances the budget. And
I mean, that could change things.
it's those people that voted for him. Believe it or not, a lot of them were Democratic. I know a few that were like, "Don't tell my family." I'm like, "What?"
Well,
voted for Trump?
Democratic or just minorities who normally would go the other way.
No, that like they bleed. They
Oh,
they
right.
allegedly bleed. So the
allegedly.
undercover voted red. Look at how happy he got.
Yeah.
Ew, you're
So
a pervert,
You're like
bro.
Tulsi? You're like Tulsi over this one?
Hell yeah.
Wildin', bro. You take
wildin'.
that makeup off. Of
Yo,
Tulsi.
look at the ads.
Yo,
Nah,
A
son.
robot.
Yeah, because of you, you idiot.
take the makeup off of Tulsi and take the makeup off of AOC, and then
Nah,
we'll have
Tulsi
this
comes with
conversation.
experience, son. She was a soldier. She's gonna go hot tour.
Oh, remember this? Remember she did this? The dress, Tax the Rich or something like that?
Whack.
Yeah.
She's not hack tooing, bro. She's not hack tooing. Stop it.
You saw her boyfriend, her husband or whatever?
No, you like him?
You ever seen him?
That's a
He's
nice
your
picture.
type?
That was a nice picture.
Here we go. Here we go.
I like the picture when she's in college. And she's
Only
hair
gay
back.
people look up the husbands. Now it's in my.
Are you ready for this?
Now it's in my search history. No.
Ready for this? Hold
Go.
on, hold on. Let's look at you. Ready?
Blanquito.
Oh, reactions.
Looks like a football player.
Disappointment all across the board.
Riley Roberts, bro. I didn't even know who Riley Roberts was.
Look at this guy. Jesus Christ.
He's not the Prince of Wales.
Look at this Jew.
Look at this leprechaun. He's a Jew, right?
Bendito.
Yeah, he looks Irish. I mean, he's,
Yeah, it looks a little bit better, but Jesus.
This is
You
his,
could tell he's miserable because look how he started and look how he's ending up.
listen, nobody looks more miserable than Trump's wife. The minute he walks away, she looks in disgust.
well, that's because she didn't want this. She's like, I just want American citizenship.
Yeah, she got what she wanted.
I want to
No,
be.
she deport her ass too.
I want to be with a
Deport
rich
her.
man. I didn't expect all this heat.
Bro,
know,
how
right?
do they?
She really did it.
But I'm curious. How come Republicans never make more of a deal about that aspect of them?
Of what?
Right? Just like when she looks in disgust, or she does weird face, or she pushes his hands away. You know, all these little things that she's done in the
Would you
public
kiss him too?
eye. Bro.
I mean,
I'll tell you why. Because allegedly, she doesn't have a dick. That's what I heard. Unlike you know who from you know where, you know I.
why are we looking up Big Mike, bro?
Because she pops up.
What?
You never heard that?
Because
No,
she
bro, I
pops
haven't.
up.
Allegedly, she's a man. You ever heard that
Listen, she's not the most attractive person.
And we kind of know that Melania would be. You know what I mean? She did. You know, it was all legal though, so you can't hate the game.
one? Yeah.
What? Well, Melania? Yeah, bro, she got to go. She got to get deported.
You can't.
Deport her ass.
gone.
She's American.
legal.
And her parents. Her parents
Our
are illegal.
here. Yeah, our parents are here. Our parents are like, look, go to America. You're gonna find a rich man
Arranged marriage.
and arrange this marriage. And then Trump came through. They were like, yes, we did it. He's a freaking. Not only is he freaking rich, but he's a mogul, real estate mogul. He's on TV. He's famous. You're in. And all of a sudden, he runs for president. They were like, what are we gonna do?
She'll never leave his side.
She'll never.
Not at
she
all.
cannot.
Michelle.
But
will.
why? Why? She got everything she could
Yeah,
ever
whatever.
want.
Why would you do that? Why would you put that heat on you? Especially from Crazy MAGA?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just-
Or,
yeah,
no,
but-
you
but,
wildin'.
but honestly,
wildin'.
Stay there. You good?
but bro,
I got scared.
she hides from it all, right? Like, you don't really see her in the public eye like that.
Maybe
She's
they're
not like-
Maybe they're not covering her. I mean, she ain't making a podcast
With her gay brother.
with her gay brother.
You seen the brother?
Yeah.
Wait, whose brother? Melania's brother's gay? Who's gay?
They got a Big Mike got a podcast.
What is it called?
Big Mike got a podcast. I don't know what it's called. I don't follow her like you do.
Follow who? Who are we talking about?
Michelle Obama. She has a podcast with her brother.
He's gay?
Oh, big gay.
Big Mike?
Oh, IMO is called.
And what does that mean?
Oh, the coach, right? He was a coach, right?
In my opinion.
In my opinion,
Doesn't he look like Bortis?
he does look like Bordis.
Hold on, no, you
I
gotta
don't know.
watch.
Who's Bordis?
Jesus, it's too much to explain.
To,
Look at him.
to
That's
show-
Bortis, bro.
I don't know who Bordis is.
I don't know how to spell Bortis. Hold on. Go on, open it up.
Bordis from the Orville.
Oh, the TV show?
That
Oh,
guy.
my gosh.
Is this racism?
This
He does not look like him, bro.
So the funny thing about this is that their race of aliens only are males. Everybody's a male. So they're gay.
So they're okay.
I mean,
And they only have kids with laying eggs.
they lay eggs and they inseminate.
I like chickens.
And every once in a while, a female's born. And it's an abomination. For
It's
the
an
society.
abomination. They have to get rid of it or have a sex change.
You'll love the show.
I heard it was good. No, I heard it was
Honestly, it's a good show. I'm not going to lie.
good. What's the main guy's name? Seth something? No.
Seth Rogen? No.
No.
Seth Rogen.
MacFarlane.
How dare you
Seth
mix the
MacFarlane?
universes like that?
Seth MacFarlane.
Yo, did you hear about the thing that they're finding out now with the pyramids? Some crazy stuff. going
I
on
have
with that,
my
bro.
my theory is whatever ground penetrating radar they used,
Uh-huh.
their readings are not accurate, and they need to go with something more accurate, and they're gonna find nothing. I just-
dig that
That's a
shit up
that's a
already.
bold.
Yeah, I think that they're whatever they used made a false reading, and that leaked, and everybody took it to wherever, and they're like, guys,
What makes you say that?
because I don't think that's down there. I don't think any of that stuff is down there.
Let's act like we don't got the equipment to just dig in there and find out.
Well, I mean, legally we can't because of the government.
So you think the information?
Just
leaked
bomb
and
the
it wasn't
government.
Put out.
Bomb the
well,
government.
I think that they said, hey, this will be detected, but I don't think that's what's down there.
Yo, bro.
I highly doubt there has. Think about how far that's like bigger than the Empire State Building.
I mean, the pyramids themselves are a mystery, so why wouldn't there be more mystery under the mystery?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that mystery is not that difficult to believe. That people built it.
That's super difficult to.
Remember, we did a whole
believe, bro.
podcast about people actually doing it,
Yeah.
and it felt like, oh, that's possible.
But not to that scale.
Bro.
Well, it just takes time, right? Effort and time. You can do anything.
Wait, you seen something that showed people? I seen them try to do it in modern times with the stuff that they had back in the day, and they couldn't do it. So I'm. What did you see? Because I haven't seen anything that really showed it was
we
possible
broke down
to do.
different ways of doing it.
Of how they would do it.
Of how they would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people.
But scientists haven't.
Not that scientists haven't do it. They can't prove it because it's done. It's gone.
But
that
they can't-
information is gone.
But they haven't really been.
The only thing they could do
prove-
is think, how could have they done it?
And
they
certain
prove
people
it.
actually took and tried doing it.
and it wasn't
moving
but it wasn't coming out the
But
same way.
there are hieroglyphics that kind of give hints,
like
but they never really. There's no real
there's like
instructions on how they did it.
blueprints. Yeah.
And you don't think that that's wild? That after all these centuries, I mean generations, that
I mean,
I guess
we
the
can't
argument is-
come up with an easy standard way to do it the way they.
I mean, we could do it,
Can
but
we?
it's just difficult. Yeah, we could do 100%. We could do it.
Yeah.
No, bro.
I think we
I
could
don't
do
know.
it.
No, 100%.
When
We could do
you-
it. Today we could do it for sure. I think we could do it in medieval
Definitely
times.
today.
You know
with,
what we
with
need?
modern equipment. Absolutely.
100%.
No,
Absolutely.
not even with modern equipment. Just bring slavery.
No,
That's how they.
That's
did
what I'm
it.
saying. And that's what I'm saying. In medieval times, I think we could have did it too.
with enough people.
You'd get enough people. Yeah, 100%.
I seen something on. I think it was the Discovery Channel that showed how almost impossible it was.
I mean, they want you to watch the show.
That's true too.
That's true.
So they're going to
Got 'em.
say anything to, yeah.
Got him.
But there's a lot of different theories of how they could have did it. But the one that, pound for pound, they could have did it this way without no thing, is by using sand to make ramps. And then it's how easy it is to just move sand back out the way so the ramps are gone.
But the math part, like with how everything.
But that's easy. Think about what Galileo did thousands of years before that. He figured out the circumference of the Earth just by having a guy walk 800 miles.
Well, we'll see then. We'll
There's
see.
some bright minds.
Like, that's what I'm saying. There's a way to do it. It's just,
So
but that's
you
another
just
reason.
don't believe in aliens, bro. I think that's what it's coming down to.
Yeah,
I don't believe in aliens.
he doesn't, and
I
he loves
want-
Star Trek.
I'm dying for them
Hypocrite.
to abduct me. If they hear me, take me.
They wouldn't want your lower class.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You didn't
You
even
don't
think the
even-
pyramids were something we did.
We did it. We definitely did it.
So we
Slaves-
did the
slaves
pyramids,
did it.
but we
I don't
didn't
think we
do
did
what's
the
underground.
pyramids.
But it's not just slaves. Think about it. Think about the churches in Europe, right? The Michelangelo painted this thing. The way they looked at cathedrals, they're crazy intricate. Now for us, we look at it like, wow, that's insane. How do they do that? It's just time. It takes a long time. It takes hundreds of years for them to build it. How long did it take them to build the Cathedral Notre Dame? How long it took them to build
A
that?
minute.
Like 100 years? More than that even.
It took a minute. Listen, it's possible. What I'm saying is that how could you believe that that's possible? Well, what's under it isn't.
Because that's very extreme.
Oh, that was too much.
Yeah.
But what if it turns out to be true? Then
Then I'll start believing in aliens. What was
Wow.
it? Underneath the pyramid.
So you got to see it to believe it.
Oh, it's a song. Told you.
Underneath the pyramids. I want to see what it looks like so you can see how deep it is.
Oh, baby.
Oh,
Show
yeah.
It's the way he said it, right?
That was
Come on.
horrible,
It's the way he said it. I know
That
you
was a super
listeners were
pause,
thinking
bro.
about it. Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's basically this that's under there.
that ain't deep.
But look,
That's
see,
just the surface. It goes further than that.
so
That's
this is
two pumps.
ready for my look. This is my theory. The pyramids are heavy,
Uh-oh.
so they compress the sand under it, which makes it look like that, like a structure's on there. I don't think there's a structure. I just
Go back one. The page. Again. So before these pictures came up. There you go. Experts class. Let me see. Oh, experts now even more confident.
there's a vast city.
Oh, that's
I-
Daily Mail. Get out of here.
they're fake news.
Oh.
So I think that there could be a city down there because that's how ancient cities worked, right? You build on top of the old one, and sometimes they'll bury it. Like Göbekli Tepe, you've heard of that?
No.
They just have a city, and eventually, when you want to build a more modern city, you just bury the old one and build on top of it.
But what kind of city, son? What kind of city was it? Were they lizard people?
I think so. There she goes.
That's what she looked like.
That's- but that weird structure, there's a picture that shows the actual how deep they think it is.
Imagine, bro.
Well, you went to all?
Oh, well, I'm in the images.
He wants to see it.
Yeah, I really think that's totally possible, bro.
Look. See, look. Hold on. Look at this image right here. This is the ground picture. This is how deep they think it is, right? I think it's the compression of the weight is pressing it down, compressing the sand, which is making it seem like a harder material. Than
What'd you
really
get in
is.
science class?
What I did?
What'd you get in science?
He wasn't there.
I didn't. I dropped out. No, I actually graduated my PhD in geology.
Did you
Shut
really?
up.
Oh shit! I was
He can't even spell geology.
I was about to set up. I was like, let me
I
get-
cannot spell that either.
I was like, hey Google.
Yo, guys, we're out of here. Check it out, GD Squared. Yo,
Awesome
thanks for
sauce.
coming through.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We out of here. You heard? Give him a kiss.
AOC for president.
AOC.
Shut up.